San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
What's up, San Diego? And a happy Wednesday to everybody out there in America's finest city. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Hey, how about that? We told Clay in the South Bay, you better get your Brownies on board to getting a new head coach. And you know what? They did. Todd Monken. Wow.
I don't know if that's exactly what he had in mind.
Wow.
But,
Todd Monken. Okay. Oh, that's a guy.
They got Ann Hire.
They got Ann Hire. It seems like every NFL team has gotten Ann Hire. Seriously. The only one that's like a good hire for the team was actually kind of a head scratcher for the actual coach. And that's the Giants. It's like, you're going to jump on a sinking ship, John? That doesn't seem like a great idea. Oh, you're getting paid $20 million a year. Oh, and the general manager's not really doing anything. Oh,
I'm a huge fan of the Titanic. What's the problem?
Oh, yeah.
What's the problem here?
You're going down on a sinking ship, my guy. But he'll probably be okay. He'll probably get saved. He's probably getting a life raft in that particular case. I don't understand the Mike McCarthy hiring. I do not understand the Joe Brady hiring. We still have a couple of teams that still need a head coach. I don't mind the Robert Saleh hiring for the Titans. I think that has an opportunity to be just absolute cinema, to watch New York crumble and their sports fans crumble with seeing that Robert Saleh, who got fired from the Jets, and Brian Daboll, who got fired from the Giants, go down to Tennessee to try to resurrect the Tennessee Titans, who are a poorly run organization. Meanwhile, Mike Vrabel, who just got fired from that job in his first year in New England, is taking the team to a Super Bowl. I think that's pretty remarkable. That has the opportunity to be absolutely crazy. And I'm looking forward to it, to be honest with you. I really am. Now, here's the case. Let's talk about a couple of things when it comes to overall setting up the show. I want to get to this Bill Belichick thing because I think it's absolutely crazy that Bill Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, we'll dive into that because somebody's lying. Somebody's lying because there were reports written by very credible journalists who cover the National Football League that said Bill Polian was in the room for these voters arguing against Bill Belichick being a first ballot Hall of Famer in punishment for Spygate that happened in 2008, 7, whatever it was. That is such a crock of S. I don't even know where to begin to pull something like that. And Bill Polian, because everybody's freaking out and starting to trash him on social media, is like, oh, that's so fabricated. That's far from the truth. Somebody's lying. Somebody's lying. I'd love to know who. I don't know if you'll ever know who, but this is why I hate Hall of Fames. This is why. It's proving my point. Go ask 6 in the chat. I thought you didn't care about the Hall of Fame. This is why I hate it. This is stupid. This is, I'm being a petty bitch, and I don't like this guy. Therefore, I'm going to stick it to him when it comes to my vote of getting making sure he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer when he, I don't know, has won the most Super Bowls out of any coach. He has had the best accolades for any coach in the National Football League. And we're going to sit here and be like, yeah, he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. This is BS. I don't even like Bill Belichick that much. This is shady. This is slimy. This is disgusting. This is why Hall of Fames are a sham. This is why. I'm tired of the writers and their egos and their little snarky comments about how, oh, well, you know, he wasn't really nice to me in a press conference. Dude, he doesn't have to be. Be a professional. Get the questions you need to get in there, get out. If the guy's moody, who cares? Not your problem. He doesn't have to be nice to you. I'm so tired of this. So tired of this. We're going to hold these vendettas against some of these guys. It's one thing if Bill Belichick was a very bad guy off the field in terms of like breaking laws and all this other stuff. It would be very bad if it was like a steroid thing. They already served their punishment on the Spygate BS. I'm just tired of these writers that vote and the egos they have and the gatekeeping they have to the Hall of Fame. This is a joke. We're going to find out the individuals that didn't vote for Bill Belichick, and it's not going to end well for them. I don't even know why they still have a vote after this. This is absolute crap. And this is why you shouldn't really live into the Hall of Fames too much when it comes to all of these different organizations. I mean, there was a guy that called in. This is what Frank told me this morning. There was a guy that called in to WFAN to talk about, like, well, you know, the reason why Bill Belichick's not in the Hall of Fame is because it was just based on Tom Brady winning all the Super Bowls, and what proved it was Tom Brady won a Super Bowl outside of New England where Bill Belichick did not. Excuse me. Are you trying to tell me that if Tom Brady left and decided he left and went to a different team and then didn't win a Super Bowl, and then Bill Belichick won a Super Bowl in New England, that Tom Brady's like entire Hall of Fame pedigree would just get thrown out the window? Well, it's just Bill Belichick. Do you understand how stupid that sounds? Do you understand how stupid that sounds? My opinion on the New England Patriots when they had the dynasty of Tom Brady and Darth Hoodie was those guys were a perfect match for a perfect organization. They were both very good. This whole narrative of who's better, Tom Brady or Bill Belichick, is it Bill? Is it Tom? Is it Bill? Is it Tom? Which is a joke. People that don't understand football, people that don't know what it takes to win football games, trying to spew these narratives because we have to talk about the NFL all the time. I mean, what a joke. Just what a joke. I think that those two together in New England set themselves up for a perfect match for a dynasty run. And let me tell you this. As much as people love to crap on the Dodgers for the blatant cheating, they say, of the unfair advantage that they have, does anybody not understand that that's exactly what the Patriots had? The Patriots, based on what they had built together with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, were able to get players to play for them at a discount because players wanted to join New England to try to win a Super Bowl. And once that match broke up, you weren't going to get the same guys to the Patriots at the same price that they were getting these players for at a discount because it wasn't the same unison group anymore. Now, a couple of those guys took some discounts, right? A couple of free agents took some discounts to play with Tom. Things were set up nicely in Tampa. They had better receivers ready to go for Tom Brady in Tampa. They had their team set up perfectly. And then with Tom Brady showing up, they brought in some veterans that took a pay cut to try to win a Super Bowl. You can't do that in New England once your quarterback left, and they had nothing left in the cupboard. Tom Brady knew the cupboard was dry. He knew the cupboard was bare, and the guy left. That was a perfect group up there in New England. But to say that Bill Belichick's only success came from Tom Brady is absolute hearsay. And for anybody to think that he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame on a first ballot is absolutely crazy. That is crazy. This is why, and this is exhibit 4,215, why I dislike Hall of Fames. It's for crap like this. Utter joke. Why do we pay attention to this stuff sometimes? Why? I like, as a history person, as most young males are, they like history, okay? A lot of guys like history. As somebody who likes history, I like the museum that is the Hall of Fames for professional sports leagues. It's cool to see all the good players. It's cool to see the history of the sport, how it moves about, all that fun stuff. But what's ludicrous about this entire thing is the process to get players and coaches into the Hall of Fame. How long did we have to wait for Don Coryell? How long did we have to wait for a guy like Eric Allen in town to finally get put into the Hall of Fame? How long do we have to worry about this stuff? How much do we have to talk about the steroid era players and whether or not they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? How long? And again, it's all based on what writers judge as their punishment because they are in control and they have control of dishing out the punishment. This power grab nonsense. The guy is a Hall of Famer, okay? Plain and simple. You're going to have to deal with and guess what? You're going to deal with the same crap when Phillip Rivers becomes eligible, which now he's not for another 5 years, whatever it is, because he decided to play. You're going to do the same thing again with Phillip Rivers, and the whole thing's going to be like, well, he didn't win a Super Bowl, so he's not good. It's the dumbest stuff ever. Figure it out. We need to change how they pick players for the Hall of Fame. I'm tired of writers doing it. They've done it for way too long. They have proven that they can't do it. It's time to fix the system. You got anything on this, Frank? We're going to talk about this later again. But
I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the Brady conversation shouldn't come up. I mean, and you look at other coaches that are in the Hall of Fame in the National Football League. You look at Jimmy Johnson. You look at Bill Cowher. Those guys have a fraction of the Super Bowls that Bill Belichick has. Are we comparing them? Like, are we tying them to one guy? Are we tying them to a specific player and saying, oh, well, that player hasn't gotten in yet or whatever. So it's clearly, or that player won without them. So they clearly shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, it's so ridiculous how a guy like Bill Belichick doesn't get in on his first time of asking. He has 8 Super Bowls. 8. He is a Hall of Fame head coach, period. I don't care about anything else. He is a Hall of Fame head coach. And like one of my friends was saying last night, just playing devil's advocate, didn't believe it, but you can't let any of this stuff with him at North Carolina, any of this stuff that's happened now, dictate how you vote for him for the National Football League Hall of Fame. Forget about his reputation. That after leaving the NFL and going to North Carolina, dating a 23-year-old, whatever, good for him. That should not have any form of impact on how the NFL Hall of Fame views Bill Belichick. It should not. And if somebody is voting on that, you're a tiny human being that does not deserve the power you think you have. I'm sorry. And yes, I absolutely believe that a writer would hold a grudge like that. We've seen it in so many other sports.
Tom Brady flat out said they put him on one of the radio shows, I think in New England, and he said he just does not understand it.
No,
I mean,
who's creating those schemes for Brady to run?
Well, he's running the teams, right? I mean, that's the deal. The report was yesterday, and we have gotten this multiple times, but the report yesterday that the situation that came about with why Bill Belichick did not get into the Hall of Fame. And we got this from, Adam was sending us tons of stuff. This is what it said. A voter who spoke on the condition of anonymity said that Bill Polian, an ardent Kraft supporter and former general manager of the Buffalo Bills and Indianapolis Colts, a chief Patriots rival during their dynasty, told some voters he believed Belichick should wait a year before induction as penance for Spygate, the 2007 cheating scandal that cost the team a first-round draft pick. We'll dive deeper into this later in the show. But after that, Bill Polian has just been saying how that's nonsense. Somebody's lying, and here's the best part. For the Pro Football Hall of Fame, those ballots don't have to come public.
No, same thing in Major League Baseball as well.
So everybody that voted for him, didn't vote for him, is not going to come out because they're just going to get destroyed by a public eye.
And the baseball writers don't require, as far as I know at least, the Hall of Fame voters to release their ballots. The ones that do it on their own volition. They do it because they want to. You don't have, there's no mandate saying they have to release the ballot.
John McClain, longtime NFL writer. He has covered NFL football in Houston for 49 years. He has a Pro Football Hall of Fame vote. He tweeted this out yesterday. I think they are under these circumstances. If the Hall of Fame were to decide to disclose who voted for whom, it would be welcomed by most on our committee. Those who voted for Belichick, as many as 39 of us, are being tarnished by those who didn't. And that's a fact. Because the 8 that didn't vote for Bill Belichick aren't going to make their ballot public. If you are so hard set at saying Bill Belichick doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame, you should put your vote out there and explain to us why you don't think so.
Say it with your chest.
Yeah, say it. I mean, say what you mean what you say. Believe what you have to say. I come out here, I give my opinions all the time. I stand behind them because they're my opinions. I'm a very passionate person. I think a lot of people understand that. People complain that I yell too much. It's called passion. I get excited about it, and you guys know what my opinion is on stuff. I back it. Don't sit there and hide behind a ballot and do something that's sneaky and shady and then be like, yeah, I'm just going to pretend like I'm just going to hide back here. Cowardly. It's cowardly. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. I needed to get that off my chest because it was utterly ridiculous when I saw that news. We have had a very newsworthy January, which has been great for us here. Coming up, the rest of this hour, I want to dive into, and we're going to talk Aztec basketball later on the show, but the most important player on the Padres in 2026, it's not Fernando, it's not Manny Machado. In fact, it's somebody who didn't even play last year. But he is going to set the tone of what this Padres baseball team is going to be in 2026. We'll talk about that when we come back and the importance of this player for the Padres' success in 2026 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97 through the Fan. We're here live at the Bill Howe Studios. We know how. I heard Bill Howe might be showing up to the station soon. Did you hear about that? I heard that on
did not,
the morning
no.
show. He'll probably come in the morning. I don't know if he'll hang around for us, but
we got to make sure we know how.
Woods said his kids were asking him if he's going to give his own rendition of the Bill Howe jingle to Bill Howe. How many people do you think give Bill Howe the jingle back?
Too many. Way too many.
I'll save everybody and not do the jingle myself. I've heard that thing so many times as a kid. There's so many jingles in town that you like used to listen to on the radio and on TV. A lot of the times with watching the PPR on a Friday night. Hey, you know what? They did their job advertising wise. I remember all the jingles. Not all of them are partners with our station. Otherwise, I'd give them. I think I don't know if they still are, but Sid's Carpet Barn used to do that with the. I think they still advertise with Padres baseball for us. Yeah, Corky's Pest Control, all that stuff. Always great. Yeah, I remember that one. The Pacific Nissan one was great. Nick Monte on it today. To answer Nick Monte earlier about the San Diego Padres got the biggest impact in 2026, no, it's not Luis Camposano. I'm not Chris Ello. I don't think that Luis Camposano was going to be an all-star last year at the major league level. Now, you know what? Chris wasn't wrong because Luis was an all-star. He was an all-star. Now, obviously, everybody should know what it is because it's in the title of today's show. The most important player for the Padres is the most important player for the Padres this season, even more than Machado or Tatis, is it Joe Musgrove? He may quietly be the single most important player on the Padres roster, not because he's flashy, but because everything behind him is a little fragile. Now, AJ Cassaville really threw this question out there in his latest newsletter. He does a newsletter as well. But the impact I think Joe Musgrove has from a if things go really well to if things do not go well, that impact really fluctuates where everything is. And I don't want to put all the pressure on Joe because it's not, but he is a main cog to this rotation. Is he the ace of the rotation right now? No, I don't think a lot of people would say that. Nick Pivetta would probably be the ace based on the way he pitched last year. Then it would be Michael King, who pitched last year and did well, but was injured for a little bit of time. Joe missed all of last season, but definitely led from a position of not playing, which is very difficult to do, especially from a pitching standpoint. So if Musgrove, and I firmly believe this, if Musgrove returns as anything close to the pitcher he was in a Padres uniform from 2021 to 2024, the Padres can once again roll out a front-loaded rotation capable of keeping them competitive deep into the season and potentially October. But if he can't, the lack of proven starting pitching depth becomes a glaring organizational flaw. And now I'm somewhere in the middle with this. Like, if Musgrove, if Joe is able to get to the level that he was, which, I mean, his recovery has been pretty remarkable, how fast he's been able to be good to go. I mean, he thought if the Padres advanced, he would have been able to pitch at least an inning in a playoff game. That's how he has felt. That's how he, like, where his body was at, in his opinion. He might be a little overzealous in that particular case. But I think with the way that modern medicine is now, I think guys can come back from a lot of these injuries a lot faster. And I think Joe can be close to the player that he was. And if he is, the Padres are playing with house money. But it's not expected. I also don't think that Joe Musgrove is going to be a train wreck. I really don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be somewhere in between. I mean, these are two extremes, obviously, when looking at the importance of Joe Musgrove back into the rotation. But you have to look at a couple of factors. And the first one, of course, is the state of the elbow. Musgrove underwent Tommy John surgery in October of 2024. He missed the entire 2025 season, and he's entering 2026 with a normal offseason for the first time this year. Or, you know, it's a more normal offseason than last time. Full clearance for spring training and no longer in rehab mode. Now he's in gearing up for the regular season mode. This is a key distinction because Musgrove says his past recovery into preparation. He has passed the recovery point and he's now into preparation mode, both physically and mentally. The quote from the AJ Cassaville newsletter, I feel really good right now, physically, mentally for the season. Pitchers and catchers report in just over 2 weeks, and Musgrove will arrive without restrictions. So he's just going to be in full go mode. Now, here comes the mentality shift, and this is where I think things get interesting for a guy like Joe. Let me ask this question. We'll let Frank participate. Frank, answer this question for me. Is it more valuable to have Joe Musgrove at the beginning of the season or in October?
October.
We said the same thing about Darvish last year, right? I didn't care how long it took Yu Darvish to get up to speed. All I cared was he was available in October. Now, he wasn't really available in October. And that's a different case study. But if I had the option of Joe Musgrove hitting his stride in April or May, or Joe Musgrove really hitting his stride in September, October, I'm taking September and October. And that's part of the conversation that Joe Musgrove has talked about. He is openly thinking beyond opening day. He is willing to skip starts, take extra rest, be carefully managed, all with one goal in mind, being able to pitch in October. There's 162 games this year, just like there is every single year. And you don't need Joe Musgrove to make 30 starts. You don't. You could piece together different spots. You could be strategic about it. Look, I think everybody, rightfully so, gives Dave Roberts a lot of grief. And you should, because, if the guy thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, he's got a loaded team. But what the Dodgers do, too, is they kind of make the rotation work for them throughout the season, so all of their players are ready to go for October because that's when they need to be there. The Padres, I don't think, are in a position where they have to worry about potentially making the playoffs. I think their team, as constructed, is better than a lot of other teams out there. Now, Joel Sherman may disagree, who writes for the New York Post, because he was unable to be networked today saying that the Padres can't compete with the Diamondbacks, which I talk about somebody that doesn't pay attention to the National League West. Give me a break. But the Padres need Joe Musgrove late, not really early. And if Joe is willing to do this and he's thinking about October, I think that's a great step in the right direction for the Padres in terms of building out the rotation. They need him most late, not early. Managing that workload could test the rotation depth a little bit. It could test the bullpen usage. Obviously could test a little bit of team patience, but I'm telling you, the leadership with Joe Musgrove still matters. He's still going to travel with the team. He's a consistent clubhouse presence. And former manager Mike Schilt repeatedly praised his leadership, even though he wasn't playing last year. This quote from Jackson Merrill is the epitome of what Joe Musgrove is. It's a different team with him playing out there. I'm excited. Of course you are. Why wouldn't you be excited? Joe Musgrove is representing his city each and every day he goes out there with a Padres jersey on. Nobody has more passion to play for this town than a guy like Joe Musgrove. And there's a lot of guys on this team that have that passion to play for you fans out there, but Joe Musgrove's got the best. It's not about winning innings. It's about the tone. It's about confidence and identity. Joe Musgrove and Jackson Merrill's involvement in dedicating a restored Miracle League field wasn't just a PR moment, by the way, because they got involved in the community. This is where he answered a lot of these questions. Reinforced Musgrove's role as the face of the franchise, one of the faces of the franchise. And as talked about before, you need Joe at the end of the season, not at the beginning of the season. I want to talk a little bit more about this. So the question is, should the Padres treat Joe Musgrove like a playoff-only asset? I think they should. And I'll tell you why when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego's number one sports station, 97 through the Fan. There's a look at some of them. We're going to have Frank kind of walk around as I kind of go through what some of these promotional items are. But the Padres today announced their 2026 promotional schedule, including giveaways, theme games, and events. Every homestand, you can get single game tickets for the 2026 regular season home games on sale on Tuesday, February 3rd. So you got to still wait until next Tuesday at 10 in the morning Pacific time by visiting www.padres.com. Season ticket members have priority access to tickets and enjoy the best available seats. Season ticket memberships have sold out for the fourth consecutive season due to franchise record demand, and therefore all remaining tickets for the 2026 season are available on a single game basis. So these will be, you can buy tickets starting on February 3rd. There are 15 all-fan giveaways planned for the 2026, highlighted by fan favorites such as high-quality wearable, stylish hats and bobbleheads, all of which take place during select home games throughout the season, limited to the first 40,000 fans in attendance. There are 3 different styles of hats this year, and there's a bunch of other stuff. We're going to get to that, but we'll just kind of go through the beginning of the season to the end. And see if you can follow along here, Frank, with what we got. But the first giveaway will be on Friday, March 27th. That's the day after opening day. That's the Tony Gwynn opening day. There's going to be an opening series scarf presented by Saquon Casino Resort. Start the season in style with a cozy Padres opening series scarf, which looks nice. It's great. Nice little scarf. At the beginning games, the early games at Petco Park are usually kind of chilly. But that's a good-looking scarf right there. So that will be against the Tigers on Friday, March 27th. On Monday, March 30th, this one's super cool. On Monday, March 30th, they have the night. I'm a sucker for 1998 stuff. They have a 1998 belt bag, which is perfect for it gets you. It's a bag that you can bring into the ballpark, which is awesome. I know my mom's got a bag like that. My girlfriend's got a bag like that. There's a lot of different. My sister's got a bag like that, and a lot of people use them to get in the stadiums, but now you can have a Padres one, which is great. So 1998 colors too. So they've seen they've debuted the original one that they had. They've had a City Connect one, and now they got a Padres 1998 belt bag. So that will be pretty cool for everybody out there. That's Monday, March 30th. On the Thursday, April 9th against the Rockies will be the Manny's Hot Corner bobblehead. So it's Manny Machado playing third base. They got the flames around the side. It's presented by McDonald's. First 40,000 in attendance. Display-worthy collectible features Machado at third base and is a keepsake for all the faithful. That's a nice little. I like the little bottom there. That's pretty cool. What is that? Is that the armband? Pink armband? Yeah, it looks nice. Again, if you want to go back, you can rewatch this on YouTube and take a look at everything in the on the deal here. Let's move on to the next one. Wednesday, April 15th versus Seattle Mariners. The puffer vest presented by State Farm. That's that vest right there on the table. That's pretty nice. The best part about this is, like, when I was a kid, like, some of the giveaways were kind of lame, but now they have made them so legit. I mean, that's a nice little vest right there. It's presented by State Farm. That will be, again, on April 15th against the Seattle Mariners, a Wednesday game at 6:40. Not a Wednesday day game. It's a Wednesday night game. First 40,000 fans get that. Against the Cubs, there's a waffle beanie presented by Motorola Razr. Waffle beanies on April 28th against the Cubs. Top off your fit with a soft waffle beanie made for night games at the a ballpark photo op. This item is limited to the first 40,000 fans in attendance as well. So that's pretty cool. I like the bobblehead. The one they had last year was cool too, but the beanie. The one they had last year was cool too. First bobblehead for Mason Miller, Thursday, May 7th, at least in a Padres uniform. They got the Mason Miller bobblehead. Watch your speed. Elite pitching with a bobblehead that nods to Miller's clutch moments on the mound. He's got fire coming off of the baseball on his delivery, which is super cool. You can bring that a little bit closer to the camera if you want. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So Mason Miller bobblehead giveaway Thursday, May 7th. And $10:39 on a Wednesday. Guys, weeks are just I can't keep up with the days because our days are changing all the time. It's just been a different week every week. I like it like that, though. I was talking to the kids at Saints in that class. I said the coolest part of our job is it's something new every single day. Sometimes we're at the blood drive. Sometimes I'm talking to a class. Sometimes we are filling in for the morning show. Sometimes we're doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that. Next Friday, I will be at Cathedral for the Cathedral Career Day. I'll be speaking at Career Day. I've never been asked to be a keynote speaker. I guess radio's not as cool as like building rockets and doing smarty pants stuff. But what's cool is the keynote speaker for our Career Day this year is actually a classmate of mine. So that's super awesome. I don't know what she does. I think it has something to do with like something very smart though, because she was the valedictorian that year. So I'll be doing that next Friday. And then in April, I get to, TCU has invited me to talk to one of their classes in sports broadcasting. So I'm very honored to do that. I'm excited to do that. No, I'm not flying out to Fort Worth for that, Frank. I will be doing it via Zoom for them. But
I mean, yay!
Oh, come on. Okay. Anyway,
Way to take chances away from the little guy, dude. Like,
don't start with that. My friends are going to jump on that immediately. So here's the debate with we're going to talk about the Joe Musgrove again in a second. But the conversation is, so my buddies, my friend group does not like the fact that I claim that TCU is the little guy in the grand scheme of college athletics. I want to hear your take on this because it's a Power 4 school. Okay. I understand that, but my argument is TCU is the little guy of the Power 4 because of the size of the school, the amount of resources they have in terms of a living alumni and all that stuff. I think they're doing more with less. And then they point, well, it's a private school and they have oil money and all this other stuff. Like, I understand that, but that's our way of competing because we only have 9,000 kids in our school. Would you say, like, I think there's other Power 4 schools that are little guys. Like Rutgers being $513 million in the hole, that's the little guy.
$516.9 million.
Oh, sorry, I missed $3 million.
Exactly. So let's get the number right. For
little
someone
guy.
Who hates. No, Rutgers is not the little guy. Rutgers is the broke boy in the Power 4.
Georgia Tech, little guy.
No,
yeah,
I wouldn't say
it's a small school.
I wouldn't say
it's in Atlanta. It's in the city of Atlanta. It is, it's in the shadow of Georgia. It doesn't have the resources as a lot of the other schools. Georgia Tech, little guy.
Right, but
just because, hey, here's the thing. Little guys, not in a sense that they can't compete because Georgia Tech can compete. But to me, I would give them little guy status at the ACC. They are doing more with less.
See, I would be more ready to give, like, especially like Purdue, Minnesota, Mississippi State. I'd be more ready to give them.
Those are massive state schools, though.
Yeah, but they're god awful.
That doesn't mean that they're the little guy. That's what I'm saying. They are incompetent. That is That is different. Like Baylor and TCU and SMU, little guy. I don't care how much money SMU spends. They still are a small school in a major city. Like they don't have the gigantic alumni bases. They don't have the massive TV ratings because they have this huge alumni. Like, little guy. That's what I mean.
To the K-State caller, little guy, as Go Aztecs says.
K-State's like kind of hit like Kansas football might be the little guy because they don't invest anything into Kansas football, but then they have basketball. That's what I mean by like little guy. Like small private school competing in the Power 4, little guy. But yes, if you want to compare a TCU to any group of 6 school or a mid-major in college basketball, yeah, we are no longer the little guy. I totally understand that.
We've been incorrect in how we've been discussing this. It's Power 5 and Group of 5. Put some respect on the Power Act 12.
They're not in the Power 5. They've already been deemed that they're not in the Power 5.
Power
it's not
Act 12. Do I need to say more?
It's not a power conference. You know what? Here's the criteria. Their champion this year in football has to make the college football playoff for me to even consider them being a power conference.
There's a chance.
They have to.
There's a chance for Boise State to do it.
Remember, did you see that last night? The college football playoff committee secretly passed that the group of 5 representative doesn't have to be a champion, and nobody had any idea. First of all, I don't really care. That rule, not totally upset about it. But the fact that nobody knew that rule existed after leaving the meeting is shady and BS.
Yes, 100%. That's awful.
No, you got Perez in there calling you Frankie football now. See what happens? Big Ten PR Frank has now turned into Power Act 12 PR Frank.
Has now turned into.
Now you're lighting a fire under one of the guys that says TCU is not the little guy in the grand scheme of things. They are.
No, I wasn't saying.
But when you compare TCU
that
to San Diego State, no, they're no longer the little guy. I will fully understand that.
I wasn't saying that. I was just saying we need to put some respect on the Power Act 12 as a power conference.
Okay.
It's not the group of 6. It's a group of 5. Get it right.
Give me another school in the Power Four. That is the little guy. I think Georgia Tech. What about Syracuse?
Yes, I would call Syracuse
Boston College.
Yeah,
Boston College.
Fair enough.
Boston College. Northwestern is definitely the little guy in the Big Ten, right? It's mostly small private schools that, yes, they have probably big donors, but at the same time, they don't have as many because it's a smaller school. They're the little guy.
It's not being a shill if you're doing it ironically.
Yes. But the fact that you're so good at it in an ironic way leads to Juan's comment being somewhat truthful.
How do you think I got through high school?
Yeah. Is K-State the little guy? Well, you know what? Here's Ron in La Mesa. Ron, welcome to the Braden Surprenant Show. What do we got? You got little guy K-State? I don't think so.
No, what are you talking about? You guys got oil money in Texas. We got wheat money and cattle money. I'll take oil money over wheat and cows any day of the week.
Guys invest in the football program, though. Maybe Bill Snyder was doing more with less. I don't know. I wasn't in Manhattan.
Yeah, well, he did get the Power Cat thing that everybody's, stealing now, so maybe so. But TCU, I'm sorry, dude, you're right in the middle of Dallas and Fort Worth. You guys got so much money, and you're on Landman. You never see anybody from K-State on TV. Come on, dude.
Yeah, you know what? Landman is disrespecting the rest of the Big 12. They got Texas Tech, they got Baylor, they got TCU, all represented. Where's the Power Cat on the hat for one of the guys drilling oil?
Absolutely. I just rest my case. Little guy for us. I'm hanging up. I win. Take care, brother.
See you, Ron. K-State. It's a big school, man. You know what? I don't see anybody else with a crop duster flying over for a flyover. That was their flyover when we were there.
It's incredible.
It was a crop duster.
It's incredible.
It was amazing.
That is.
833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Kevin at Chula Vista, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, Kevin?
Well, that's that last call made me crack up. So
wheat money, Kevin. You know it's not as good as oil money.
Oh, God, what next? So, the problem that I have with this iteration of the pack, whatever they want to call it, 12, 6.5, 8 3/4, I don't know, is you look at the addition of Texas State, and then you go back and you look at the ranking of Texas State in basketball. They're down there like 300 and something. And this does nothing to help the conference. It really doesn't. And I think where this group of teams that are trying to make a new conference has kind of missed the boat is that they've had a two-edged sword here. You've got a very difficult problem on your hand. Where do you get new members that have enough gravitas, if you will, to make the conference into a power? You don't. You've got to have members that are into this conference that can qualify as a Power 5 institution to begin with. And they, outside of Washington State and Oregon State that have that history, the rest of the conference, what's left of it, doesn't have that. So you're already at a disadvantage.
I will say in basketball, like Gonzaga, even though in the West Coast Conference, they act like a power school.
Yeah, and that's basketball, but football drives the bus. And so, that's fine. But I'm not going to argue that point. But where they miss the boat is the TV contract that comes along later that's in the process of, or wherever they're at with this thing, that doesn't do a whole lot. It really doesn't. And so the other side of the knife that they sit on, ideally, their best move, if it was at all possible, would be to bring back a couple of the weak sisters that moved out, such as the Stanfords and the Cals, that type of situation where it makes absolutely no sense, for example, for Stanford and Cal to be traveling 3,000 miles across the country. And I think that if you were to put a Stanford and a Cal into the new pack, whatever you want to call it, then you get, on the other side of it, you get a better TV option as well, because you're picking up the Bay Area. And so I don't know where this thing is going, but I can't see it in its present form and substance ever gaining anything more than it is basically an outsider looking in. So I don't know what has been accomplished by San Diego State, for example, at the end of the day, when you're trading basically a little bit easier travel schedule, granted, but you really don't get anything in regards to recognition as being close to a Power 5 conference. It's just not going to happen with this group until the day comes when there's a realization from some that have left that should return and ought to return, and then you might have something.
Well, what San Diego State did, and I appreciate the phone call, what San Diego State did was they survived. And that's basically where they're at. They're like in survival mode. Like they survived to live another day. And we'll see what type of money they get in the TV contract. I can't imagine it being anything close to if they could get $10 million a school, then it's a pretty decent move for them because it's an upgrade from the Mountain West. If they get like $6 or $7 million a school, it's not going to be that big. Here's what San Diego State accomplished by joining this power conference, the Pac-12. They set themselves up for a higher rated conference schedule when it comes to basketball, which is huge for them. They get 16 men's basketball games in conference play, a true round robin, and then they have 16 they got 16 other games they can fill and load up their schedule. It really benefits their basketball team in the grand scheme of things. So now you don't have to play San Jose State. You don't have to play Air Force. I mean, yes, you still got to play Fresno and Texas State, which is not great. But you picked up Gonzaga, you picked up Washington State and Oregon State's not really doing very good at basketball, but at least you get to play the better half of the Mountain West that are joining you in the Pac-12. So for basketball, it works out. In football, same kind of thing. You have a couple of better teams that you get to play in conference play, but the general purpose is you're still a slightly step higher than the rest of the group of 6, which means you are closer to becoming a power conference at the next conference realignment. Now, San Diego State needs to dominate in these couple of years leading up to 2030 in order to get an invite to an actual conference. That's what San Diego State needs to use this leverage point for in the Pac-12 to convince somebody in the Big 12 or whoever it may be to join that spot. Now, here's the deal with Stanford and Cal. They are academic elitists. They will never be in a conference with a state school. They won't. It has nothing to do with athletics. It has everything to do with academics and the academia world over there. And I don't know how many times I have to explain this to people. They care more about academics than they care about sports. And the academic people never want to be in a conference with San Diego State or Fresno State or Boise State or a bunch of state schools. Even though San Diego State is a really good institution and is going to be a research institution as they are in the process of becoming one. And they're going to be up there with research status that the Big Ten required schools to do in order to join their conference. Even though they're up there, it's the, we don't fraternize with state schools. It's that mentality is the reason why Cal and Stanford are not in this new conference. From an athletic perspective, they should be. But it's not about athletics. It's about academics. And Cal and Stanford would rather spend a ton of money flying across the country to get their ass kicked in sports than just join a conference on the West Coast with institutions that are not as prestigious as them academically. And once you listen to it from that perspective, you realize they will never join the Pac-12 until they decide to pull their head out of their rear end and not be so judgmental of the state schools, even though San Diego State is a very high-level academic institution. People don't want to say that because the kids there party. So what? It's hard to get in San Diego State. They have some of the best engineering programs in the country, some of the best research in the country. They're becoming a research institution. Enough of this elitism from Stanford and Cal. All right. Should the Padres treat Joe Musgrove as an October-only asset? We'll talk about that when we come back.
Hey, it's Gravy, and if little things in life annoy you, then you are going to like the Daily Gripe. I'll share my pet peeves with you, and I'll feel better about it. The Gravy Show, weekdays, 6 to 7 p.m. on 97.3 The Fan.
If you missed anything that we have said already, if you're driving around, we're talking about the promotional giveaways for the Padres here in 2026. If you want to check out the website, where you could get this is padres.com/giveaways, and it'll have the whole list. And again, if you want to buy tickets to these games, you could start going. The single game tickets are on sale on Tuesday, February 3rd at 10 in the morning. That's the first chance that you have. Obviously, season ticket memberships have priority to do that. As we move along, we got the patriotic Aloha shirt for the day after Memorial Day. I think May 26th. So it's a Tuesday. Maybe it's coming before, but celebrate America's upcoming 250th birthday with the Padres theme patriotic Aloha shirt. Pretty nice. Got the Blue Angels on there. It's got the Padres logo. It's got the Padres military logo on a baseball. Nice little Hawaiian shirt, patriotic against the Phillies on May 26th. Coming up on Tuesday, June 9th against the Reds. Bogey goes boom bobblehead. You got a Xander Bogaerts finishing his home run swing with his signature gray and maroon bat. So that's pretty cool bobblehead as well. It's presented by Palomar Specialty Insurance on June 9th. So Bogaerts has a bobblehead on Tuesday, June 9th. Coming up on Monday, June 22nd against the Atlanta Braves. Got the Western snapback hat. Kind of looks like a rodeo hat. It's pretty cool looking. It's got San Diego Padres in the Western font, if you will, or San Diego Padres written in Western font with the SD logo in the middle. Pretty cool looking hat right there. That's presented by Petco. First 40,000 fans in attendance will have that one. Again, all of these are for the first 40,000 fans for these, unless I say otherwise. Wednesday, July 8th, Trevor Hoffman bobblehead. He's repping the navy blue 1998 gear. Honor the Hall of Famer and Padres legendary closer with the Trevor Hoffman bobblehead. Presented by Canels. This bobblehead limited the first 40,000 fans, so it's in stride. Trevor Hoffman, kind of a classic look at bobblehead against the Diamondbacks in July. On July 12th, just for the kids, they have the Squeeze Top water bottle, which is a kids giveaway. I don't know if they have that here today because it's a kids giveaway. Again, some of these are for the first 40,000 fans. Some of them are for the first 10,000 fans. It's a kind of little water bottle for kids 14 and under. It looks like an ice cream sundae, which is pretty cool. Tuesday, July 28th. I know a lot of you guys love this one. It's presented by Soapy Joe's The Poncho. Got the San Diego Padres poncho. Looks pretty nice. I like it. I'm sure you'll see a lot of you guys repping that out there at Padre games. That's on July 28th. Bucket hats. Everybody loves the bucket hat. You got a reversible bucket hat, which you have multiple looks for. You have the Padres white home uniform version. You also have the sand away version as well with the swinging friar on it. Multiple looks. Home and away bucket hat will be Thursday, July 30th against the Giants. A 6:40 start, first 40,000 fans. Coming up on August 10th, a superhero pocket tee presented by San Diego Community Power, which is pretty cool. Usually right after the Comic-Con road trip that the Padres have to go on. So a little bit of a superhero t-shirt. Pretty good front and back. It's got that front pocket. Small logo in the front, big logo in the back. It's good style for a t-shirt, let me tell you. Coming up on Sunday, August 23rd, it's another kids giveaway. You can check that on the website. Monday, August 24th, the next day against the Pirates, you got the Jackson Merrill robbery bobblehead. So it's Jackson Merrill robbing a home run with the blue fence right there in his home uniform. It's a pretty cool looking bobblehead. And then this is the best one. You thought you were going to give away. You thought you were going to get a secret. You thought you were going to get a secret. You thought you were going to find out about the City Connect uniforms. Well, we have the bobblehead for the City Connect uniforms. It just hasn't been painted yet. They're not going to display that until the new City Connect uniforms are out. But they have the Fernando Tatis City Connect bobblehead presented by Big Bully Turf. That will be on Tuesday, September 8th against the Washington Nationals. Dressed in the Padres City Connect 2.0, the Tatis City Connect bobblehead presented by Big Bully Turf channels Nando's flair at the plate, limited to the first 40,000 fans in attendance. Dynamic details of this bobblehead will make it a centerpiece for your collectibles. Again, we don't know what the City Connect uniforms are yet, but that is what that will look like.
At the Super Watch
11 o'clock.
Spend them time away.
Start of the noon hour. It's not the noon hour if I just said 11 o'clock. Start of the second hour on the show. All right. Got a little bit off track there. We do that a lot, Squirrel.
Squirrel.
I still can't believe your Starbucks order yesterday was a couple of cake pops. Oh, by the way, how did the
I don't drink coffee.
donating blood go yesterday?
It went really well. I was there for maybe 45 minutes. I did the double thing. I did the plasma donation also. So
nice.
That was that. Yeah, it went really, really well, really smooth. Only got poked once, and was very happy about that.
It's actually easier than the stuff that you've been doing.
Well, no, I actually got poked twice because I hate the stupid finger prick that they have to do. That one hurts more than the needle in the arm.
You're like the guy from Elf. You're like Elf.
Yeah, 100%.
Ow!
Yeah, exactly.
My finger has a heartbeat.
Yeah.
You didn't eat any of the cotton balls, did you?
No, I didn't get a cotton ball. They didn't trust me with those.
That's true. So here's the deal. Somebody asked earlier, I think Clay did. We got an update from Claudine Van Gonka about the blood drive yesterday.
Okay.
From the San Diego Padres blood drive. More than 500 pints of blood were collected at the San Diego Padres winter blood drive held earlier yesterday from 9 to 6 at Petco Park, Gallagher Square. All donors were gifted limited edition Padres winter blood drive t-shirt and other Padres freebies. But the goal was 400 pints. You guys got more than 500 pints yesterday. So big round of applause to everybody that came out and donated blood. I saw Jake Waters there, him and his daughter. I saw Clay in the South Bay came by. Rod was there. Pretty good showing out of the Braden Surprenant show chat friends. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for going out there and donating blood. It helps a lot of people, and they reached their goal yesterday. And this is the big push for them because after during the holidays, people still need time of year doesn't change when people need blood, but the times of donations kind of change. People go on vacations. They do a lot of different things with their families during the holidays. They forget about, potentially donating blood. So January is where they kind of restock, where they need a lot of help. And you guys did a really good job yesterday. So big thanks to Frank. Big thanks to all of you that went out there and donated blood. We really appreciate you guys helping out the blood drive. It's fantastic. It's great news.
A lot of fun, really easy as well. So they were all very, very nice. Everyone there was great.
Okay, let's talk about this Joe Musgrove thing for a second. We talked about it at 10:15, got a little sidetracked at 10:30, but the question remains because Joe is thinking about October and not just the regular season, right? He's thinking about October. And when thinking about October and him coming back from injury, now he is in preparation mode. He is no longer in recovery mode. He's got to be no restrictions in spring training, and he's got to be ready to go. Now, we're going to talk to Joe on Saturday. So we'll ask him about some of these things, but he is willing to potentially skip starts, take a little extra rest throughout the season, be carefully managed a little bit to try to preserve himself for October. So the question is, should the Padres treat Musgrove like a playoff-only asset? Now, by that being said, he still needs to pitch throughout the year. But for a guy whose goals were before he got hurt to pitch 200 innings, I think those have changed now. And I think it's better for Joe Musgrove to potentially skip some starts, to potentially take a little extra time, take a little extra rest, and be ready to pitch in October. And I think this is where it benefits. It benefits to have a former pitcher as your manager because nobody is going to know what they're going through more than a guy like Craig Stammen. I'll know he is, albeit he was a reliever at the big league level, but most of the relievers were starters at one point. And I think that Craig Stammen and Ruben Niebla are going to manage this the best they can. And the fact that Joe Musgrove is willing to do it, I think this is great for the Padres altogether. They need Joe Musgrove at his best in September and in October more than they need him in June, May, April, any of those early months of the season. And I think you can strategically make the rotation work like this. Now, it's going to have some consequences of the bullpen being taxed a little bit more. Maybe you get more spot starts out of a guy like Matt Waldron, JP Sears, some of the guys that are going to be competing for a rotational spot. I keep forgetting, but the Padres do have Tristan McKenzie on a minor league deal. And now hopefully Tristan McKenzie can find something Ruben Niebla to be part of this rotation and increase the depth a little bit. But I like the idea of Musgrove being kind of a playoff asset. Now, skipping starts, 6-man rotation, can the Padres physically do this throughout the year? I think it's going to be difficult because there's not a lot of answers for replacing Joe Musgrove, right? There's not and I don't want to say replace, but being able to skip a Joe Musgrove start and then replace him with somebody else. This is the importance of the strategy to get another starting pitcher into the Padres organization. I think this rotation, I've said it multiple times, I'm going to continue to say it. I think the starting rotation is good enough to get you to the trade deadline. Depending on how Joe Musgrove does will determine whether or not it's good enough to get you to October. But you need him at full strength in October. And I think that the Padres need to find ways to give Joe Musgrove a little bit extra rest in the first half of the season so we can really dive into the second half of the season. And the fact that Joe's willing to do this, according to reports from AJ Cassavell, I think goes a long way. But, this is a guy that wants to be able to go out there and compete with his teammates. I think the fact that he missed all of last year and still could lead and still be in a leadership role as a guy that was hurt and just rehabbing, and the team being really juiced up about having Joe around all the time, I think that adds to him being able to contribute, even though he might take a couple of starts off. But I think they have to view Joe Musgrove not only as one of the most important pieces of the starting rotation, but they have to view Joe Musgrove as this guy needs to be at his best in October. And if that means a couple of extra days rest, Frank, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, again, you're right. He needs to be ready for the postseason. However, he also needs time to get ready. And if that means, he's going to have to pitch at the beginning of the season. I would not be surprised if they did exactly what you said. If they went and did like the extra couple days rest, if they tried to manipulate the rotation in some sort of way, maybe use openers, have a bullpen day every now and again. I think he really is the key because we're all expecting Joe Musgrove to be back the way he was in 2024. That's his baseline. That's where he wants to be. He wants to be back to where he was at his best. We know, however, coming back from Tommy John surgery is tricky. Some guys don't get all the way back. Some guys never get back, period, after having Tommy John surgery. So this rotation, that's why it was so crucial to get Michael King back, is because now you have someone else you can lean on in that rotation, and it's not entirely on Joe Musgrove. But if Musgrove can't go the way he wants to be able to go and the way he knows that he can, that is going to put the rotation in a huge question mark, and that is going to make them really have to fight for a starting pitcher come the trade deadline, or maybe even sooner, depending upon how bad it is.
Here's the thing with Joe Musgrove. If Joe Musgrove is right, the Padres can compete with anybody, and you don't have to make a massive move, I think, at the trade deadline. If he's not, everything else might not really matter. But at the same time, yeah, it definitely it puts the Padres roster into a little bit of a tough situation because he needs to kind of be that guy that makes this rotation a top-heavy rotation. Which you don't necessarily want top-heavy things, but for the beginning part of the season, having a top-heavy rotation is not the end of the world. It'd be nice to add one more arm to this rotation, but, Tristan McKenzie might be an X factor in this rotation. A year of J.P. Sears working with Ruben Niebla might be an X factor in this rotation. Where are you going to get Matt Waldron? I mean, Matt Waldron needs to be able to make some starts for this team. Randy Vasquez with another year of work. We'll see how they do in spring training for the San Diego Padres, and there's always an arm that emerges. So last year, Nick Pivetta signed right before this, right before or at spring training. So they could still have something up their sleeve. There's still a decent amount of good, solid arms available on the open market right now. But when you look at a guy like Joe Musgrove, what does Joe Musgrove symbolize for the franchise right now? Is it stability? Is it risk? Is it identity? To me, I think it's identity. Because he is a guy, he's just like the roster. He's a high level player, right? The roster's got tons of those. But if he's at his peak and can replicate what he did and from 2021 to 2024, the Padres are going to be a really good baseball team. But if he can't, now I think he's going to be somewhere in between because he is coming off of an injury. But if he can't, the Padres are fragile around the depth part of their total roster, but everybody's got holes in their roster. So he kind of is the identity of the Padres, and it's also fitting that he is Mr. Padre in a sense, not Tony Gwynn, Mr. Padre, but he's Mr. San Diego, right? There's something about that. I think you get a little extra juice with Joe, pitching here at Petco Park and being part of this community as much as he is and involved as much as he is. So I think Joe's going to have a good bounce back year. Now, if he could replicate what he did before he got hurt at that level that he was, Padres are playing the house money. I think it's going to be a little bit in between. But here's the other thing, too. I think the fact that he had a whole year off and then it's the off season of not still rehabbing, but ramping up. I think the timeline works out perfectly for Joe to have a normal start to the season where you're not going to have a lot of real early setbacks, if that makes sense. I think the timeline of how he got surgery, when he got it, and not forcing to pitch at the end of the year last year is all going to pay dividends for Joe Musgrove in 2026. Now, a lot of the problems come with the fact that the Padres have spent a lot of their money. How big is baseball's payroll disparity? I mean, we've talked about this a lot. We like to complain about how much the Dodgers are able to do things, but they took a deeper dive into this on MLB.com. And there's some interesting results to this question. We will answer it when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All guests on 97 through the Fan, join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with the crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We've got a lot to talk about on today's show. Talked about Joe Musgrove in the first kind of part of the show. A lot of Padres talk. He'll be joining us on Saturday at FanFest. Cool to see. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing all of you guys at FanFest. But should be a fun time. It's always great to go out there, be in the community. So it'll be our second time at Petco Park this week. We have an extra show this week, Frank. The 6-show week.
We do, yes.
Makes up for the day off we had.
Makes up for the 4 show weeks we've done.
They get you somewhere. Anyway, it's good to be. It was good to be back at the ballpark yesterday. It's going to be fun to be back at the ballpark with all of you. Wearing the Padres stuff coming up on Saturday. We are looking forward to that for a fun weekend and a weekend that's it's got a lot going on in town. Farmers Insurance Open starts tomorrow. We'll give you updates throughout the show as the tournament goes on. We'll definitely be putting that on in here. It's always great to see the scenic shots of the Farmers Insurance Open. We talked about the PGA Tour potentially making some changes to their schedule yesterday's show. I don't know how they could potentially leave a place like San Diego. It'd be foolish, especially with all the other locations that they have with small purses that don't mean anything. Farmers Insurance Open really, to me, is the tee off, if you will, to the PGA Tour. And the fact that Tiger Woods is on the committee that's going to determine schedule in the future, and he is a big supporter of Torrey Pines, I think it's a big step in the right direction for Torrey Pines Golf Course. So, should be fun. This weekend, lots to do. Hopefully the weather is great. We had a great day weather-wise yesterday. Hopefully it's not too chilly out there. Hopefully get the sunshine throughout San Diego. Okay, we talked about the Padres in the first couple of segments or so, but an article yesterday on MLB.com was talking about the disparity in baseball's payroll and just how big that is. So Major League Baseball as a whole is thriving. But one problem is holding it back. By almost every measurable indicator, Major League Baseball is trending up entering 2026. You can't argue with it. As much as we like to complain about the status of the league because of a couple of things that need to be fixed, but there are glaring things. There is the elephant in the room that needs to be addressed. You look at some of the metrics that determine the lifeblood of your league. Number one, attendance. Attendance is up 4 straight full seasons in Major League Baseball. It's up. That's a big thank you to the Padres fans for coming out and showing up and showing out each and every day during the baseball season. But attendance has been up for the 4 straight full seasons. That's not just here at Petco Park. That is around Major League Baseball. A lot of the rule changes are working. Pitch clock, pace of play. People are more engaged with baseball. I don't really like some of the new rules, but you know what? Makes it more engaging for a lot of fans. On-field talent is at an all-time high. You were seeing some really good baseball players play on a lot of different teams. And the 2025 postseason delivered massive ratings, including Game 7 of the World Series, which was MLB's largest TV audience since 1991. Now, that being said, you had 3 countries watching it now, as opposed to only usually one country watching the World Series. But I digress from there. The downside, though, still is they only had 2 games in the top 100 in terms of ratings for the most watched telecasts of 2025. Most of those were dominated by the NFL. But the product is better. It's faster. It's more compelling than it's been in decades. And yet, there's still a growing cloud hanging over the sport that keeps resurfacing every offseason. That's the payroll disparity. And it's starting to get worse. MLB.com took a deeper dive into the numbers that matter when it comes to this conversation. And this is a conversation we've had so many different times. In 2025, the average payroll of the top 5 teams was 4.8 times that of the bottom 5. That is the largest gap Major League Baseball has had since at least 1985. The previous record was 4.4 times in 1999. That led directly to the creation of the luxury tax system in 2003. As recently as 2018, the ratio was just 2.6, meaning the gap has nearly doubled in 7 years, despite multiple luxury tax tiers, increasing penalties, and a more aggressive CBT system in the current CBA. The divide, unfortunately, has only just widened. It hasn't actually shrunk. Why does this matter on the field? Spending doesn't guarantee championships in Major League Baseball, but it does dramatically improve the odds. This is the biggest argument that we have had on the show over the course of the last couple of months, really the last calendar year, since we started talking about how the way that the rules are built in Major League Baseball don't make a lot of sense when it comes to parity. And what diehard baseball people say, and it's mostly just the reporters that cover the sport, they go back to the fact that they've had like a different representative in the World Series the last handful of years. Okay, that's fine, fair. But what they're missing is, in order to make it that far, you have to spend high levels of money to get into the playoffs and then make it that far. And the other difference is it's all the big market teams that are doing it. It's not like the NFL where you could get a small market team turned into a dynasty. You can't get that in Major League Baseball. In the National Football League, you had Kansas City, which is a small market, dominate the league. But then teams were able to catch up with them. They made it to the Super Bowl last year. They didn't win it. They won like 7 games this year, whatever it was. They had a bad season. They regressed a little bit. But in the NFL, you're able to buy and keep your players that you drafted. In baseball, a lot of teams can't afford to do that. Players don't negotiate contract extensions because free agency gets bid up so high because teams can spend whatever they want. Here is why this matters on the field. Again, spending doesn't guarantee championships, but it dramatically improves the odds. From 1998 to 2024, top 5 payroll teams averaged 89 wins a season. Bottom 5 payroll teams averaged 74 wins. 20 of the last 28 World Series champions came from the top 10 in payroll. The top 10. I'm going to say that again for people that don't understand this. 20 of the last 28 World Series champions came from a top 10 payroll team. Spending money doesn't guarantee you a championship, but it definitely makes it a lot easier to accomplish. And when elite spending meets elite operations, because you can spend that much money, also, and you're very good at developing and running your organization, what do you get? You get a super team like the Los Angeles Dodgers. Let's talk about the Dodgers problem. And it is a problem. They spent $515 million on player payroll in 2025. They paid a record $169 million in luxury tax fees. That tax payment alone exceeded the entire payroll of 16 Major League Baseball teams. The bottom 6 teams combined spent less than the Dodgers alone. This isn't just the competitive edge. This is a different economic sport. And with additions like Kyle Tucker, the gap is likely to grow again in 2026. They are a problem. And it's not them doing something they can't do. And they're not doing anything that's against the rules. But it's something that shows the problem with the system. How does that affect the hot stove problem? What is the hot stove problem? We'll talk about that in the big picture when we come back, because we got to take a break, about the disparity of payroll in Major League Baseball. Here are some other numbers when we return to the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's number one sports station, 97 through the Fan.
Bet tonight
Not a bad idea.
that I'll have more hits than you.
Let's do it right now.
How much you want to bet?
We'll do $5.
Oh, God.
Oh, it hits ball in the air. Oh, sick, dude. What a great leadoff. What a great leadoff.
Yeah. You want to be mic'd up?
Oh. No, Rick. There's the Joe we know. Well, you're lucky I'm a huge target at first, dude.
Someone gassed.
Chel's got to get us in, though. We're screwed next at bat. That's not great.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right.
Zion. Are you? That is the saddest thing. Are you insane? That is sad. No confidence.
Ethan, you better get a hit
Yeah,
now.
it's like Moneyball. He's got no confidence, ugly girlfriend.
Come on, Sam.
Oh, hose him!
Oh, we got it. Can we get a first baseman that can catch? One time, Matt. Nice. All right.
Glasses on too, that's why.
Oh, damn it. Can we score some runs? Play first base. All of a sudden, it's locked down.
Who bats after Q?
I think it's the other team.
Go! Go!
Show Braden how to run home.
Oh, damn it. Got under that bat.
Hey, the Surprenant suck.
Come on, Cello.
I can play
stay down.
cello.
Oh, look at the look at the throw.
Oh my God.
Oh, pick me, dude. You can't see it. It sucks.
I can't see anything.
Oh, I crawled back. Did you ask him to buy you a beer after that?
Hey.
Got us beer, dude.
Wow, there, dude. You serious right now?
He does.
Dude, yeah, Ethan, seriously, dude.
I know. Hey, Ethan, sit next one. You don't boo nobodies. That's what I'm hearing.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Nice ball, Matt. Nice job.
I'm the best.
Hey, good job. Hey, we won. Nice job. Good job.
Good game. Good game, guys. Good game.
Let that big guy's going.
Good game. Where do you want me to sign, sir?
Like where you're always.
Don't set the Fox.
No, nobody makes me sign. But I'll whatever you need for your kids or whatever, like sign ball or anything. Let me know.
You're all over it.
Bet tonight
Not a bad idea.
that I'll have more hits than you.
Let's do it right now.
How much you want to bet?
We'll do $5.
Oh, God.
Oh, it hits ball in the air. Oh, sick, dude. What a great leadoff. What a great leadoff.
Yeah. You want to be mic'd up?
Oh.
No, Rick.
There's the Joe we know. Well, you're lucky I'm a huge target at first, dude.
Someone gassed.
Chel's got to get us in, though. We're screwed next at bat. That's not great.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right.
Zion. Are you? That is the saddest thing. Are you insane? That is sad. No confidence.
Ethan, you better get a hit
Yeah,
now.
it's like Moneyball. He's got no confidence, ugly girlfriend.
Come on, Sam.
Oh, hose him!
Oh, we got it. Can we get a first baseman that can catch? One time, Matt. Nice. All right.
Glasses on too, that's why.
Oh, damn it. Can we score some runs? Play first base. All of a sudden, it's locked down.
Who bats after Q?
I think it's the other team.
Go! Go!
Show Braden how to run home.
Oh, damn it. Got under that bat.
Hey, the Surprenant suck.
Come on,
I
Cello.
can
stay
play
down.
cello.
Oh, look at the look at the throw.
Oh my God.
Oh, pick me, dude. You can't
can't see it. It sucks. I can't see anything. Oh, I crawled back. Did you ask him to buy you a beer after that?
Hey,
Got us beer, dude.
out there, dude. You serious right now?
He did. Dude, yeah, Ethan, seriously, dude. I know. Hey, Ethan, sit next one. You don't boo nobodies. That's why.
All guests on 97 to the Fan. Join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. We are broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios. We know how here in beautiful San Diego, California. Talking a lot of baseball here in our 11 a.m. hour. This is usually our baseball hour. Haven't had too many updates in terms of the hot stove. It has kind of gone cold again. It's gone iced over a little bit. But we're talking about the disparity in payroll and everything like that in Major League Baseball. And I just want to make sure that everybody remembers to listen at 1 o'clock for us to announce today's biggest fan for a chance to qualify for a night in our Odyssey Suite at a future Padres game with all the fan staff. Register your name at 97ththefansd.com/biggest fan in order to potentially have your name called. Okay, let's dive back into this a little bit more. So the hot stove problem. It leads perfectly into what we were talking about. We haven't had really a hot stove report in the last couple of days, and it's not because Frank hasn't prepared a hot stove report. There's really been nothing to talk about in the baseball hot stove. Latest we had, well, I think I want to look at this later in the show. Jim Bowden was talking about, potential landing spots for C.J. Abrams, and the Padres are potentially on that list. I will look at that in a second. I think that's interesting. But you have a hot stove problem. Payroll disparity doesn't just affect the standings, it affects fan psychology, as laid out by this article on MLB.com. For many small and mid-market teams, the offseason conversation isn't who are we adding, it's which star are we trading. Prime example, the Detroit Tigers fans immediately hearing Tarek Skubal trade rumors. Brewers fans bracing for a Freddie Peralta trade, which eventually happened to the Mets. These teams aren't failing, they're functioning well, but their fans are trained to expect eventual sell-offs, not sustained contention. And here's the deal. Like somebody in the chat has already said, the bottom teams will spend money. They are spending money. If you look at that graphic again, and it happens every single year, we bring it up all the time. Now, this is the one from last year, from the 2024 revenue and the 2025 payroll and tax. You look at some of the teams at the bottom, and they're still spending money. Now, here's the difference. Could the Brewers, Guardians, Cubs, Pirates, Rays, White Sox, Marlins, and Red Sox spend more money? Yes, they could. Now, is anybody getting mad at the Red Sox? Does anybody get mad at the Red Sox for spending money? Frank, have you heard anybody complain that the Red Sox don't spend money?
Nope.
The Red Sox are only paying 42% of the revenue on their roster. Look, you want to crush the Nationals, you want to crush the Rockies, you want to crush the A's, right? Let's talk about that for a second. You want to crush the Tigers and the Rockies and the A's because they don't want to spend money, right? They have the money. They're not spending it. Did you know that the Rockies and the A's spend a higher percentage of their revenue on their players than the Boston Red Sox do? Did you know that? I didn't know that. How come nobody gets on the Red Sox? The Red Sox are only spending 42.1% of their payroll on their roster. In fact, that's the 23rd best. Nobody gives the Red Sox crap. Red Sox are the 4th highest in revenue. They have the 7th highest payroll, but they only spend the 23rd highest amount when it comes to percentage of their revenue on their payroll. Nobody's mad at the Red Sox. Why is nobody mad at the Red Sox? Red Sox should be spending more money, right, Frank? Is that how this works?
Yeah, exactly.
Shouldn't they be spending more money? They're not spending what they should. That goes back to what I said about the Rockies and the A's. Everybody's mad at the A's. They only spent $111 million. Well, dude, they only make $257 million. They are dead last in revenue. How much more do they need to spend? They only got $257 million in revenue. They have to pay to run the organization. Revenue is not profit. Revenue is the money you bring in before expenses. As part of the expenses is payroll. They spend 43% of their revenue on their payroll. It's $111 million. What percentage of a team's revenue before expenses do you think is fair for them to spend on payroll? What do you think a fair percentage is? 50%? North of 50%? I think if you spend half of your revenue on the players, I think that's fair. Is that not fair, Frank?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty fair. I think anybody that spends more than 50% of their revenue on payroll is doing a little bit more. Probably more than they need to. In fact, if you look at all of the percentages, according to Forbes, on the percentage of revenue that teams spend on payroll, look at it. There are only 9 teams that spend 50% or more of their revenue on payroll. That's it. The Tigers actually spend the 12th highest percentage of their revenue on their payroll. Yet here they are shopping away Tarek Skubal. So stop telling me these teams are not trying to spend money. A lot of them are. Now, if you want to get on the Marlins for only spending 20% of the revenue on their payroll, yeah, they're part of the problem. The White Sox, they only spend 31% of their revenue on payroll. They're part of the problem. The Rays spending 33%. Yes. Anybody spending less than 40% on their payroll is a problem. They can increase it. But I go back to the A's, okay? I don't think the A's are a good organization. I don't think anybody likes their owner. I think what they did to the city of Oakland is a joke. But the reality is they have spent 43.4% of their revenue on their payroll. If they spent 50%, right? 50%. We all said 50% is fair to spend on their payroll. If they spent 50% of their revenue on their payroll, they'd be spending $128.5 million on their payroll. That is like one extra player of the $111 million that they're already spending on their 2025 payroll plus taxes. So then I look at, and we've used this conversation multiple times with the Dodgers. The Dodgers' revenue is $752 million freaking dollars. Their payroll is, at plus taxes is $549 million. They're paying 73% of the revenue, but that is just an astronomical amount. The A's would have to pay over 100% of their pay. They would have to spend money they don't even have to try to even compete with a team like the Dodgers, and that is the conversation. It's a lazy take to say, well, these organizations just need to spend more. They can't spend money they don't have. It's not crazy. And to ask your ownership group to spend money they don't have out of the kindness of their heart for the better of the community is hogwash. Want to know why? Because you wouldn't do it yourself. And I know you wouldn't do it yourself. Because guess who else wouldn't do it? Me. If I was making that kind of money and I owned an MLB team, I'm going to tell you right now, I would put a lot of money in the payroll, but you know what I'm not doing? I am not putting 100% or 90% of my revenue into my payroll. You want to know why? Because I'd be a stupid business person. And guess who wouldn't own the team much longer? Me. And nobody out there driving around would willingly spend most of their paycheck that they get for the betterment of community morale. You would never do it. And if you say you would do it, you're a liar. And I will tell you you're a liar. There's not one person driving around that would spend most of their paycheck out of the kindness of their heart to maybe improve morale of a fan base. You would never do it. Would you do that, Frank? I would never.
No, I wouldn't.
I would never do that. As much as you would say, oh, well, if I won the lottery, I'd spend all the money. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't do that. Stop it. But let's go back to that whole small market thing. So now you get to a sense, like you talk about the Brewers. Now, the Brewers are close to spending, they spend 40% of their revenue on their payroll, right? 40% of their revenue on their payroll. These are all estimations on Forbes. They'll never release the books. At the same time, people that own teams need to make money somehow. Okay? Let's not pretend that they're just made of money. It might seem like that to a lot of us that don't make a lot of money, but that's not the reality. So let's just say the Brewers up the ante a little bit. Okay? Let's say the Brewers, who spend 40% of the revenue on their payroll, up the ante a little bit. Their revenue is $335 million. Okay? That's 18th in baseball. If they spent 18th in terms of their percentage, they'd be the Rockies, who spend 44.7% of their revenue on payroll. So you take that 44.7%, multiply it by the revenue, okay? Just for simple math. Their payroll should be $150 million. Now, Freddie Peralta. Freddie Peralta, right now, at the next signing, okay? What do you think Freddie Peralta is going to get?
Probably like 20 to 25, I would say.
20 to 25? I think that's pretty fair, right? Freddie Peralta gets a $25 million deal. If the Brewers decide to re-sign him, they'd be spending they would actually be put over the top of what you would expect them to spend on their payroll based on percentages. That would increase their payroll to revenue percentage to over 50%, which would put them in the top 10. So again, as I've mentioned before, this is not these teams don't spend money. This is we are trying, but we still can't keep some of these players because other teams that have this unlimited funds that don't have to spend at a high percentage because they have more money in revenue, they get to pluck the players from us and still bank a ton of money. It's like the Red Sox. The Red Sox have spent $242 million on their payroll. The Red Sox make $574 million. The Red Sox are the 23rd highest team in terms of percentage in spending money. Again, we have some Tigers fans in the chat, and the Tigers have thought about trading Tarek Skubal. They have to do that because they can't spend any more than they already do. They spend 50%, 49.3% of their revenue on their payroll. Did you know the Tigers' revenue, Detroit's a big town. If you had to guess what the Tigers' revenue was in terms of like 1 through 30 in Major League Baseball, where would it be?
10 to 15 in that range?
It's 25.
Oh, God.
They're 25th in revenue. Yet they spend, their payroll's 19th highest, which means they are actually, and they spend the percentage of the revenue on their payroll, 12th highest percentage. So again, what the Dodgers are doing is not illegal, but what it shows is the luxury tax is a fallacy. And the rules and regulations for acquiring players does not lead to a cohesive parity sport that engages your fan base during the offseason. Because teams like the Brewers have to start thinking about ways to get rid of their studs before they become free agents instead of letting them walk for nothing. They're one of those teams. The Tigers are thinking about it with Tarek Skubal. And here's the other thing too, guys. Atlanta has a lot of players signed under contract for a very long time. Atlanta spends 46% of the revenue on their payroll. Atlanta is thinking about, what do we do when Ronald Acuna Jr. becomes a free agent? Should we trade him? Or should we try to extend him if we don't have the money to try to extend him to be a 30-year-old player now and paying him $30-something million a year or whatever it is? Ronald Acuna Jr. is better than Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker had $60 million a year, theoretically. That's absurd. It's absurd. This is the disparity we're talking about. Now, what's driving the gap that leads to this problem? The regional sports network collapse is a massive problem for most teams in baseball, with the exception of the Dodgers, who are unaffected by this. Teams that lost RSN deals are now earning roughly 50% of their former TV revenue. Those are all the teams that Major League Baseball has taken over with their TV rights, like the Padres. They're making 50% less than they were before. You know who's not making 50% less? The Dodgers. The Dodgers are actually making more than what they put on the books for what they expected to get till 2038. That makes this jump gap even more of a huge disparity. Local TV money matters more in Major League Baseball than any other major sport because they don't have a centralized TV contract. Ownership outliers. Now, Steve Cohen is one of those ownership outliers for the New York Mets. The guy's got more money than God. He's got $13 billion. What is he worth? $13 billion? I
think 16.
Whatever it is. It's the highest ownership in Major League Baseball. Close behind is the Guggenheim Baseball Management that runs the Dodgers. These groups are operating at a scale most owners cannot or will not match. In fact, the Dodgers are spending more money than the Reds owner is worth. But let's get mad at the Reds because they're not spending any money. Reds spend 42% of their revenue on payroll. The Dodgers are spending more money than the owner of the Reds is worth. And that's not liquid assets, people. That's what he's worth. Margins are tighter than fans think. The Atlanta Braves, who are publicly owned, reported negative operating margins. Most owners are not swimming in profit. Just spend more is not a realistic solution for many franchises. Yet we continue to have all these media people like, they just need to spend more. Spend what exactly? Look, I'm totally on board with the Marlins and the White Sox and the Rays and the Pirates spending more money. But the reality is, the problem is the system. It's not the teams. The problem is the system and the rules that the system has created. Anybody mad at the Cubs? You should probably be mad at the Cubs. Anybody mad at the Cubs for not spending money, Frank?
No, you certainly cannot be. Well, you can be mad at the Mets for doing what they're doing. I certainly was when I saw the numbers last night.
They spend it stupidly.
The Mets made $444 million in revenue in 2024, and they spent, between payroll and taxes, they spent $400 million. 90%. 90% of their payroll, 90% of their revenue they spent to miss the playoffs.
Why is nobody mad at the Cubs and the Red Sox? Why is nobody mad at the Cubs and the Red Sox? The Cubs are 26th in baseball in terms of the percentage of revenue towards payroll. They only spend 36% of the revenue on their payroll, but the payroll's over $200 million, so therefore we don't care. Again, it's different. Why is nobody mad at the Cubs? The Cubs could be spending more money. They don't. So it's okay. So what's the number that counts as spending money? For these organizations, it should be based on percentages. Anybody spending less than 40% of their revenue on their payroll, those are the teams you should be asking. Not what the payroll number is. All right, we've waited long enough.
Well, no, I was going to say no. Just keep going.
We'll do it at the noon hour.
Yeah.
So we'll do the sports thread. I still believe that the Tigers are going to win the arbitration conversation, because they are increasing Tarek Skubal's contract by $9 million. That is how those things work. I would be shocked if Tarek Skubal got 30-something million in arbitration. Wouldn't you be shocked, Frank? Based on seeing all of these arbitration numbers and how, it would be the highest raise on record for an arbitration player. The highest ever.
Yeah, 100%.
It would be the highest ever. The only other one was Vlad Guerrero Jr., and I'm pretty sure they settled before they even got to arbitration. If that goes to arbitration between the Tigers and Tarek Skubal, the odds of the Tigers winning that are higher than the odds of Tarek Skubal winning that. If it would be better for Tarek Skubal to come to an agreement and make a little bit less in that particular case. I'm not saying he's not worth that money. I'm saying based on what arbitration numbers are, the Tigers are going to win that. People look at the value and go like, Tarek Skubal's worth more than $19 million. But people don't realize is it's based on how big of an upgrade that you could make based on what he got the previous year. He got $10 million last year. He's not going to get a $22 million raise in an arbitration settlement. It doesn't work like that. I would be shocked. Again, like I said, he's worth $32 million. He's worth more than that. But that's not how arbitration works. It's not how arbitration works. It could happen. They could pick the $32 million, whatever it is. It would be shocking. I'm just surprised, and I looking at this chart, I don't understand why nobody gives the Cubs and the Red Sox problems. I don't know why anybody doesn't give the Cubs and the Red Sox issues. The Cubs and the Red Sox are actually, in my opinion, worse than all these small market teams that don't spend money because they're taking in a ton of money and they're not spending a high percentage on it. The disparity in baseball is crazy. And again, this is a baseball problem. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. When we come back, we'll get to the sports thread to start the noon hour. We'll take a deeper dive into why Bill Belichick was snubbed as a Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Famer, and why this is why I hate Hall of Fame voting. Talk about it next. Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego State Sports Station, 97.3 The Fan.
San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime use.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
New lunchtime hour on the Fan. Talk about the MLB payroll disparity. It's a lot. Again, I don't know how you go into, like, I don't know how guys like Justin Verlander's brother can sit there and be like, it's not the Dodgers' problem. Like, the Dodgers aren't the problem. When you look at these, like, does he just not know how to do, like, do people not know how to do math? I mean, come on. From a money perspective, like, you can't spend money you don't have. So what is it? Like, when you ask somebody, Frank, that when you want a team to spend more, do you want them to spend up more? Is that percentage based on the revenue, or does everybody, or just spending money just count as spending $200 million? I think for the general public, it's spending $200 million. I think everybody thinks that teams can spend $200 to $300 million easy because the books aren't open, so everybody just assumes that every Major League Baseball team is making billions of dollars.
It goes to a number. I mean, I think that really is what it is. It's you're not playing to a percentage, you're playing to a number, especially when you're dealing with the general public, who are very, very calm about some things. They're very, very calm about most things and are understanding and dive deeper in their own personal time to go out and look these things up. Certainly don't have preconceived notions that cannot be challenged.
You look at the percentages again, and like some of the comments in on this particular post that you shared with us from Forbes. Again, we've used this graph a lot. Only 9 teams are spending more than 50%. So I guess collectively, everybody wants teams to spend at least 50% of their payroll. But even then, it doesn't matter. Even if some of these teams decide to spend 50% of their payroll, guess how? They're still hundreds of millions of dollars behind Los Angeles. And that lies the problem, right? That lies the problem that people have with the system in Major League Baseball. It's not just like they can just spend more. Like, some teams can't. Like, how much more do you want the Padres to spend when they're spending 64% of their revenue on payroll, according to Forbes? The Diamondbacks are spending 66.7% of their payroll. Oh, sorry, 66.7% of the revenue on their payroll. How much more do they need to spend? Yet nobody gets on the Red Sox or the Cubs for spending because it's like, well, their payroll's over $200 million, so they're trying. It's like, is it a number or is it a percentage? To me, it should be a percentage, not a number. Lots going on in sports today. We missed it in the last hour, but we're going to get to it now. It's time for today's sports thread.
You know that group chat, the one that's always blowing up with the biggest sports takes, debates, and breaking news?
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me?
Yeah, we've got that too. Welcome to the Sports Thread, where we break down the top 5 stories in sports, just like you would with your crew.
Oh, no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
No filters, no silence, just real talk. Brought to you by QC Kinetics. Stop sitting on the sidelines. QC Kinetics gets you back in the game without surgery. To learn how, visit QCkinetics.com.
All right. Let's dive into this here right away.
Number 1.
New Steelers head coach Mike McCarthy didn't dodge the Aaron Rodgers question, saying he'd welcome a reunion and has already spoken with his former quarterback, though no timeline is set. McCarthy emphasized patience for Rodgers' decision while also expressing excitement about developing younger options like Will Howard and Mason Rudolph. Hired largely for his quarterback developing resume, McCarthy will call the plays himself as Pittsburgh leans into an offense-led reset. Should the Steelers prioritize a short-term Rodgers reunion or fully commit to developing the young quarterbacks under McCarthy?
What are we going to do with it? We're going to have Aaron Rodgers back. I mean, come on. Really? Is that what we're going to do? Pittsburgh?
I mean, again, it's hilarious with the history that those two have, and Rodgers being the main reason why he was fired.
Allegedly kissed and made up at this point. But I don't trust Aaron Rodgers. He's not that great of a dude. The last couple of places he's been has been an utter disaster. If you are the Steelers, you rid yourself of Aaron Rodgers. And at least, I mean, now that you've made the decision to hire Mike McCarthy, who is Mike Tomlin, based on what he has done, you got to set him up for success. And to me, it's going with a younger quarterback, but you have to find a quarterback solution. And I do not think it is Aaron Rodgers. Although maybe Steelers fans think they can replicate what the Packers did with Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers, which was only beat the Steelers in the Super Bowl. That was it. That's all they did. They had one of those. Like, for as much accolades as Aaron Rodgers gets and praise he gets as being a quarterback, right? He won one Super Bowl. It was early in his career, and he hasn't been back since. He hasn't even been back since. So we're going to repair him with Mike McCarthy, and everything's going to be great? I mean, Mike Tomlin won games every single year. Like, the arguments I've gotten it's funny. People in our YouTube chat say that Steelers fans are upset. The people I know say Steelers fans are super excited for this Mike McCarthy hiring. I don't understand what the difference is between Mike Tomlin and Mike McCarthy. What's the difference, Frank? You said you wanted something completely different, and you wanted somebody new, and you wanted somebody to get you over the hump of the playoffs, and then you hired a guy that has great regular seasons and doesn't get it done in the playoffs. You got the same guy. He's the same guy. Mike Tomlin's just more defensive oriented. Now you have offensive oriented Mike Tomlin. You got the same coach. So since you didn't really replace the coach, I'm talking more about Steelers fans than anything else. I don't know what the negotiation was. I don't know what the conversation was with Mike Tomlin leaving the Steelers. Remember, because he did not get fired. He left. I think he left at the right time. I think they were going to blame him for the next year. But if you're Mike Tomlin, I kind of agree. Like, Mike Tomlin was upset with the fans because that guy had been winning. He never had a losing season, yet the fans were upset that it was Mike Tomlin's fault that the Steelers weren't doing any good. Not the fact that they had no quarterback solution over the last 5 years. The fact that their rosters were old. And even the moves that they made, they traded for old, aging players. Oh, here's Jalen Ramsey. Sick, dude. This ain't like 2015. It's 2026. I mean, come on. They hired the same guy. So my question is now, Frank, if you're hiring the same guy and you want change, why would you bring back the same team? And let's just pretend everything's different. You're doing the exact same thing over again.
To be fair, though, Pittsburgh is in uncharted waters here. They're used to having coaches retire of old age. So they are doing something that they haven't had to do since the mid-'60s right now. So they really have no idea what they're doing based off of how long how long this run of success has been.
I tell you what, though, you look at the AFC North. Who is in the best position to win next year? Is it the Steelers? Is it the Ravens? Is it the Browns? Or is it the Bengals?
Honestly, I'd say the Bengals. They're the only ones that haven't. I mean,
yeah, but they're
the only ones that have survived a coaching firing.
Well, and all their fans wanted their coach fired too. I think Taylor's a good coach, but The problem is his best player can't stay upright because the organization can't give him an offensive line because they've spent all the money on receivers who are a dime a dozen instead of spending money on offensive line. Oh, and by the way, Joe Burrow got paid now. So, Joe, if you want some better help, buddy, maybe restructure your contract like Tom Brady used to do. You either want to get paid or you want to win a Super Bowl. It's your choice. I mean, if you just want to get paid, I want to hear about how you're having a miserable time. Sorry. Make the choice. I honestly still think the Steelers are probably in the best shape in that division because you know what you're going to get with the Ravens. They're up in the air. Is Lamar Jackson going to stay there? Are they going to invest in Lamar Jackson? It sounded like they were going to, but you look at the Bengals, their organization is a circus. And I can't believe the hiring that the Browns just did. Plus, the Browns are a joke. If the Steelers don't keep Aaron Rodgers, I still think they have the best chance of winning that division over any other team in that division, using what they already have. So if you really want to start over, start over. That's my take on that.
Number 2.
Darian Mensah and Duke have agreed to a settlement resolving their legal dispute, allowing the star quarterback to transfer and formally commit to Miami. Duke had sued Mensah in an effort to enforce a multi-year NIL contract and block his transfer, but both sides opted to settle rather than continue a prolonged court fight. Mensah, one of the top players in the transfer portal, leaves Duke after leading the Blue Devils to an ACC title and posting nearly 4,000 passing yards and 34 touchdowns. The case highlights the growing tension between NIL contract enforcement and player movement in college football as programs and athletes navigate still evolving rules. As NIL deals become larger and more complex, should schools have stronger legal protections, or does this case enforce that player mobility will ultimately still win out?
My take on this particular situation was, if you're Duke, he's got to go. You can't like fight to bring him back. That was like the whole conversation in Washington with their player and trying to leave for Ole Miss. Now, the thing is he was going to get his ass sued. He was going to lose a bunch of money and whatever. He just didn't want to deal with the headache. Duke finalizes an agreement. Why try to convince a guy to come back that doesn't want to be there in the first place? Get some money out of it and let's move on. This is why you need rules. I don't know how many times I have to say this is why you need rules, but this is why you need rules. It's stupid that players can sign contracts and then back out as soon as they get a better offer. Could you imagine if the Padres had to do that every single time they signed a contract extension or signed somebody in free agency? The next day you could have some other team like see that offer and then double it or try to make it more, and then you can get out of the contract and then go to the new team. What's the point? The reality is none of these kids are employees because we have prevented them from being employees because they're still amateurs. And the only thing that keeps them from doing this stuff is by making them employees. It's time to start making these guys employees. And they won't do it because they'll probably start losing the funding because taxpayers pay for public schools, and public schools are going to pay these guys to be employees. I mean, these guys will be the highest paid employees of every state. How is that going to be? It's too much of a mess now. They have to reel it back. They have to figure it out. They have to put in rules. They won't do it. And this is going to keep escalating, and it's going to continue to ruin college sports.
Yeah, and that's kind of the way. That's kind of the direction that it has gone over the last year or so.
Number 3.
We are going to stick with college football to a person that I know you enjoy very, very much so. Former Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia
here you go.
Brought his trademark confidence to Senior Bowl practices, insisting he will be drafted in the 2026 NFL Draft, despite skepticism about his size and pro projection. The SEC Offensive Player of the Year embraced the spotlight, saying his production and tape speak for themselves after leading Vanderbilt to its first ever 10-win season and narrowly missing the college football playoff. Pavia also showcased technical growth, noting improved footwork and velocity after working with a quarterback trainer for the first time, while leaning on what he calls his biggest strength, his football IQ. Can elite production and confidence overcome size concerns for quarterbacks like Pavia at the NFL level, or will measurable traits still outweigh resume and results?
How tall is he? 5?
He is a mighty mite for sure. I believe he's 5'9".
5'9". Is that what they listed him as at the Senior Bowl?
I believe so. Yeah, the Senior Bowl listed him as 5'9". Vanderbilt and ESPN had him at 6 foot, to which someone said, I too am 6 foot in heels.
That's right. You know, it's like on your Hinge page, you're really 5'7", but you're 5'10" on the Hinge or whatever. Kyler Murray's 5'10", to say that. Okay, so Kyler Murray's 5'10". Kyler Murray's a way better player than Diego Pavia. Kyler Murray doesn't play a lot of games. He gets hurt a lot. The other player that I'm thinking of immediately, who is also way better than Diego Pavia, would be Carolina Panthers' Bryce Young. Bryce Young is a smaller player. Bryce Young, I watched him in college one time when they played Tennessee. I'm like, this guy's great. He's not big enough for the NFL. Bryce Young is 5'10". This guy is smaller than Bryce Young and Kyler Murray. And he's not as good. Not even close to being as good as either of them. This is going to be a train wreck. And you wonder why Diego Pavia tried so hard and continues to try hard to stay in college football as long as possible, because he does not have a future at the NFL level. He doesn't. Now with these guys, I would consider like Baker Mayfield being a smaller player in the NFL. Baker Mayfield, his height. Oh no, change back to Bryce Young. Baker Mayfield's height is... My computer's super slow today. 6'1". This is going to be a train wreck. I don't care how confident Diego Pavia is. And by the way, the more he pops off, the more the NFL is going to be licking their chops.
Yeah, the more they're going to say,
to get after this guy. Mm-hmm. If you draft Diego Pavia, you are a dumb organization. Dumb organization. Think about all the other guys that have come into the league that have struggled right now that are not 5'9". It's a tough environment. And Bryce Young, I'm telling you right now, is 10 times the player that Diego Pavia is. He actually won the Heisman on one of the best teams in the country. Like, way better player. This guy came from the university. He came from New Mexico State. I mean, we're talking about a guy that urinated on a rival's field and thought it was sick.
Esco Aztec says, but he has an entourage, dude.
Yeah, whatever that means. Stupid. Next one, last one.
No, I think we're
done.
Yeah,
we got to get
pretty much on the break. Yeah,
50 seconds here.
Okay. So we'll all right, abbreviated.
Number 4.
Houston Astros stars Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa will not play in the 2026 World Baseball Classic because they were unable to secure insurance on their major league contracts, meaning that they could risk losing significant salary if they were injured during the tournament. Correa is slated to make over $31 million, said playing without insurance was too big of a risk. And Altuve, who's set to make around $33 million, also won't participate after similar insurance denial and discussion with the Astros ownership. Both players had hoped to represent their countries of Puerto Rico for Correa and Venezuela for Altuve, but ultimately prioritized financial health and considerations due to lack of coverage. Should Major League Baseball and the World Baseball Classic overhaul their insurance policies to better accommodate marquee players, or is it unavoidable that high salaries make participation too risky?
I think you're going to start seeing that. I think a lot of these guys just take the risk because they want to represent their country.
Yeah.
Some guys want to take the risk. Some guys don't.
Absolutely.
It's their prerogative. It's all right. You don't have to do it. I mean, plus both of them are older now. They're not like...
Yeah, they're older, making a much more money than they're worth right now. So
there it is. All right. Deeper dive into the Bill Belichick thing. He's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, and that's rocking the NFL world. I briefly talked about this to start the show, but something to do with an owner that has now impacted this decision for a lot of people. We'll talk about this conversation when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego State Sports Station 97 through the Fan. 12:24 on a Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. It's Wednesday all day. A little chilly there, Frank? A little chilly there, Frank?
Yeah, I've been so busy over here. I've been wanting to put my jacket on for the last hour.
It's so busy. I thought you'd start sweating. Maybe.
And I just no. I'm
Guy's
actually
like an octopus.
I've
over
actually
there.
been cold here today. This is a new feeling for me in the studio.
Yeah. Come on, Mr. New York. Chilly in San Diego. Well, we have like the AC on in here.
As we should. There's a lot of electronic equipment in here that would turn this room into a toaster.
And then the kitchen is like a sauna. Feels nice to walk over there.
Yeah, Skinny Frank does get cold easily because I don't have the extra.
You don't have the winter coat.
Yeah, I don't have the extra 120 pounds of blubber on me anymore to keep me warm.
We talked about this at the beginning of the show. We haven't really taken a deeper dive into it at all. But I do want to mention it again. One of the most decorated figures in NFL history just failed to clear a bar many assumed he would soar over. Bill Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. In voting earlier this month, Belichick did not receive the required 40 of 50 votes, 80%, for induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility. He was informed of the decision Friday afternoon and, according to sources, was puzzled and disappointed. Belichick privately asked, 6 Super Bowls isn't enough? What does a guy have to do? To him, the answer was clear. This wasn't about football. It was about politics, which it was, of course. Here's Bill Belichick's credentials and resume. Let me know if you don't think he's a Hall of Famer, Frank. Let me know on any of these, or he's not. 8 Super Bowl titles. Remember, everybody remembers the Super Bowl titles he won as a head coach for the New England Patriots. He has also won multiple Super Bowls as a defensive coordinator for the New York Giants.
That was under Bill Parcells.
6 as the Patriots head coach.
I believe they made a 30 for 30 for that.
2 as the Giants defensive coordinator. 333 career wins, including the playoffs. Second all-time to Don Shula. He's got the second most wins all-time to Don Shula. 17 division championships. That is the most ever for any head coach. 9 conference championships. 12 Super Bowl appearances. 21 winning seasons as a head coach. Any of that seem like he's not worthy to be in the Hall of Fame?
All of it. I mean, he
couldn't win 13.
Yeah, no, he lost Tom Brady. Didn't win anything else after that, and that's it. It's over.
What about the 2 that he won with the Giants? That doesn't count.
He wasn't. He was a coordinator.
What about the fact that they won?
He was along for the ride.
What about the fact that he won with the Browns team and was trying to move to Baltimore and almost turn that entire franchise around before they left? Anybody think about that?
No, sorry.
No, that's not.
He lost Brady, and he was
He did win 333 career games, including the playoffs.
Brady won most of those.
He won 17 division titles.
Brady.
He won 9 conference championships.
Brady.
12 Super Bowl appearances.
Brady.
Not all Brady.
Well, again,
he went multiple times as a coordinator.
As a coordinator, he was along for the ride at that
21
point.
winning seasons as a head coach.
Brady.
Not all Brady. Did it in Cleveland. He won in Cleveland. By any traditional Hall of Fame standard, this is a no debate first ballot resume, which is why the decision stunned people like Patrick Mahomes and Peter King and Hall of Fame voters and much of the football world. Peter King, holy bleep. Okay, that bleep starts with an F and it's 4 letters. I'm very, very surprised. Why did he miss? Some may ask. Multiple sources point to Spygate and Deflategate as deciding factors. During deliberations, voters reported...
Get over it.
Voters reportedly revisited the Patriots' cheating scandals. One veteran voter said the only explanation was the cheating stuff. It really bothered some of the guys. Oh, shut up. Oh, bleep off. Give me a break. You self-righteous, fake, virtuous people. You virtuous voters. Of all of you guys that are just so much better than us. That's what I tell you, to kind of bug people. Give me a break. You mean the stuff that he did before they actually ended up going on a huge run as a dynasty? I mean, he ended up winning a lot of the Super Bowls after that particular problem. The Patriots lost the first-round draft pick. Belichick got fined $500,000 for Spygate. Whether officially stated or not, moral judgment crept into the room. But here's the one that's interesting to me. Here's the part of this that we didn't talk about in the first hour. Here's the part that I really felt, ding, ding, ding. This is really why Bill Belichick's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. You ready for this part, Frank?
Hit me.
You're not going to be surprised by this. It has nothing to do with Tom Brady. Tom Brady was just as shocked as everybody else.
Was he though?
He was. This year added another wrinkle. Well, guess who else was a finalist, Frank? Guess who else was a finalist for the Hall of Fame?
Who else?
Robert Kraft.
Okay.
Robert Kraft was also a finalist. It was the first time Robert Kraft made the finalist cut after 14 years of lobbying. Kraft and Belichick are now bitterly estranged. Some voters could only select 3 finalists total. Multiple sources believed it was either going to be Kraft or Belichick, but not both. That alone may have fractured the support for Bill Belichick.
Give me a break.
And there it is. I got to make sure Robert Kraft gets in. Got to make sure Robert Kraft gets some votes. He's been trying hard. I don't think owners should be in Hall of Fames. The only time owners should be in Hall of Fames are for saving teams from leaving their current cities. Robert Kraft. We're not going to worry about what Robert Kraft got in trouble for? Oh, no, we don't care about that. We don't care about that. Let's not worry about that. Interesting. Why this matters beyond Bill Belichick. This decision has ripple effects. It pushes back other coaching legends. Mike Shanahan, Tom Coughlin, Mike Holmgren. I mean, all of those guys are now, you can't put any of those guys in as a first ballot Hall of Famer.
No.
And to be honest with you, you can't put any coach in as a first ballot Hall of Famer now.
If Bill Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, then who is?
Nobody.
Who is a first ballot Hall of Famer?
There's not a
in the
single
NFL?
coach that is a first ballot Hall of Famer based on the criteria that has now been set by this voting committee group, whatever the heck it is. I'd love for the people that voted not to have Bill Belichick in as a first ballot Hall of Famer reveal themselves.
It's just
publicly.
Disgusting.
It raises serious questions. What the Hall values, whether on-field greatness is being weighted against morality, and whether the Hall is drifting toward narrative voting instead of legacy voting. And the biggest question, as Frank mentioned, if Bill Belichick is not a Hall of Famer, who is? Go ahead. Start telling me who is. Look, is Bill Belichick the greatest guy in the world? No, he's not. He does a lot of weird things. Okay, the whole situation with him in North Carolina is odd. Okay, he's an odd individual. He wasn't great in press conferences. I'm not going to sit here and say the guy was a saint, because the guy's not a saint. It's fine. He was actually a patriot, But
He draws the foul.
yeah, he's a Brown giant. I mean, yeah, not a saint. Maybe he was. I don't know. I didn't look at the resume that far. But the reality of this is, despite what he might be off the field, which is nothing compared to other entities that have had way more baggage off the field that have gotten into the Hall of Fame than a guy like Bill Belichick. He had been to 12 Super Bowls. He had won 8 of them. He has won 9 conference championships. He has won 17 division titles. He has done the best out of any coach in the history of the National Football League. And he had the second highest record than any coach in the NFL, minus Shula. That's it. And for anybody that wants to say it's like, oh, well, it's whatever, stop it. Are you telling me if Tom Brady, after he left New England, didn't win a Super Bowl, would Tom Brady not be a Hall of Famer? That's the same question to ask. Because the Patriots teams did not have a lot of good rosters after Tom Brady left. So I don't want to hear the whole comparison because Tom Brady won in Tampa with a team that was actually a lot better than what it was in New England when he left New England. They are both Hall of Famers and both first ballot Hall of Famers, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. And the match that they had in New England was a perfect match. I will always view it as that. That was a match made in heaven for a dynasty in the making between Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. And a lot of the times, the Patriots won in the Super Bowl despite Tom Brady's effort in the Super Bowl. Go look at some of the numbers that Tom Brady had in the Super Bowl. They were not great. And a lot of those defenses were legit. And guess who is the defensive guru of that team, Frank?
That would have been Belichick.
That'd be Bill Belichick, yes. He won 2 Super Bowls as a defensive coordinator for the Giants. And nobody remembers that. Nobody remembers that. But yeah, let's just give all the credit to just Tom Brady. There's too many Tom Brady stands out there that like to poke holes in the Belichick thing just because he happened to win a Super Bowl with Tampa. I mean, they won the Super Bowl in Atlanta. Or the Super Bowl, sorry. They had played multiple Super Bowls where Tom Brady did okay. The defenses that did all the damage. Tom Brady had the best Super Bowl he had was against the Seahawks in 2014, where he was 37 of 50. He still threw 2 picks in that Super Bowl. His numbers are solid, but they're not off the chart. And he was winning in Cleveland. Bill Belichick, with that team wanting to move to Baltimore, Bill Belichick put together a great season with Cleveland. He is one of the best coaches in the NFL and is a first ballot Hall of Famer. It's not even really up to debate. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. When we come back, we do need a contestant for the Midday Sports Standoff. We'll continue some of our NFL talk as well. Please give us a call, and we'll try to give you an opportunity to win a chance to win a prize. Qualify to win a trip to Vegas when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's number 1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Come on, baby. Come on. Let's go. Oh, there we go.
Did the director's cabinet give you that shirt? Did you block out the noise and just swing it? We got a bunch of guys that let the noise get into their heads and they're swinging the club.
Okay. Ready. I like to think I'm making Kyle better. I've been hitting balls down the middle and Kyle's side. No, that's not good enough. All right, what goes further? Braden's drive or me throwing the football here? Oh! Shot.
Wow. Hey, put that one in between commercials.
Rocks.
The next group coming up too.
Ow!
I don't know how good it is.
Punch. 1840. Ha ha.
Phillip Rivers. God. He played quarterback in high school, by the way.
Falcon. They didn't have many quarterbacks in Colorado.
Falcon we got here. How we I could just put it in my bag.
Do you have one of those? Do you have one of these? We didn't win, but. Wow!
That's Gary's 7th mulligan. I think he'll pick up that other one.
Cigar night.
Trade myself to there. That's not a bad putt. Cut. Get there! Oh, we got a bird, right? Under now. That was a great putt by you, by the way. I don't know why you want to be on camera.
What? One. Oh. Hey, bud. Go. Come on, baby. Come on. Let's go. Oh, there we go.
Did the director's cabinet give you that shirt? Did you block out the noise and just swing it? We got a bunch of guys that let the noise get into their heads and they're swinging the club.
Okay. Ready. I like to think I'm making Kyle better. I've been hitting balls down the middle and Kyle's side. No, that's not good enough. All right, what goes further? Braden's drive or me throwing the football here?
Oh! Shot. Wow. Hey, put that one in between commercials.
Rocks.
The next group coming up too.
Ow!
I don't know how good it is. Punch, 1840. Ha ha!
Phillip Rivers.
God, he played quarterback in high school, by the way. Falcon.
They didn't have many quarterbacks in Colorado.
Falcon. We got here. How we playing? I could just put it in my bag. Do you have one of those? Do you have one of these? We didn't win, but.
Wow! That's Gary's 7th mulligan.
I think I'll pick up that other one. Cigar guy.
Trade myself to there.
That's not a bad putt. Cut. Get there! Oh, we got a bird, right? Under now. That was a great putt by you, by the way. I don't know why you want to be on camera.
What? One.
Hey, bud.
Go. Come on, baby. Come on. Let's go. Oh, there we go.
Did the director's cabinet give you that shirt? Did you block out the noise and just swing it?
We got a bunch of guys that let the noise get into their heads and they're swinging the club.
Okay.
Ready. I like to think I'm making Kyle better. I've been hitting balls down the middle and Kyle's side. No, that's not good enough. All right, what goes further? Braden's drive or me throwing the football here?
Oh! Shot. Wow. Hey, put that one in between commercials.
Rocks.
The next group coming up too.
Ow!
I don't know how good it is. Punch, 1840. Ha ha!
Phillip Rivers.
God, he played quarterback in high school, by the way. Falcon.
They didn't have many quarterbacks in Colorado.
Falcon. We got here. How we playing? I could just put it in my bag. Do you have one of those? Do you have one of these? We didn't win, but.
Wow! That's Gary's 7th mulligan.
I think I'll pick up that other one. Cigar guy.
Trade myself to there.
That's not a bad putt. Cut. Get there! Oh, we got a bird, right? Under now. That was a great putt by you, by the way. I don't know why you want to be on camera.
What? One.
Hey, bud.
Go. Come on, baby. Come on. Let's go. Oh, there we go.
Did the director's cabinet give you that shirt? Did you block out the noise and just swing it?
We got a bunch of guys that let the noise get into their heads and they're swinging the club.
Okay.
Ready. I like to think I'm making Kyle better. I've been hitting balls down the middle and Kyle's side. No, that's not good enough. All right, what goes further? Braden's drive or me throwing the football here?
Oh! Shot. Wow. Hey, put that one in between commercials.
Rocks.
The next group coming up too.
Announcing today's biggest fan, so stay tuned at 1 o'clock for that. But it's time to play the midday sports standoff. If you call in and you take me down in some sports trivia, you will be qualified for a chance to win our grand prize. 2 tickets to see Sammy Hagar at Dolby Live at Park MGM, a 2-night stay at Park MGM Las Vegas, and a $100 gas card. Sammy Hagar returns to Las Vegas with his Best of All Worlds Las Vegas residency. Get ready to rock with your favorite hits from the Van Halen years, Sammy's solo hits, and more in Las Vegas this March 11th to the 21st and September 18th to the 26th at Dolby Live at Park MGM. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Frank, hit it.
Welcome to Midday Sports Standoff on the Braden Surprenant Show.
I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
The ultimate head-to-head battle where sports knowledge and quick thinking collide.
It's no good. Are you kidding me?
Contestants will go toe-to-toe with Braden in a sports trivia deal where every correct answer brings them closer to victory.
Down the sideline! Wow! Unbelievable!
But 3 strikes and it's game over.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Can you outsmart Braden? The midday sports standoff starts now.
All right, Frank, we got playing today.
We have Brad in Escondido playing today. Brad, how are you?
Hey, guys. How you doing, Braden?
I'm doing well. Sorry, Brad. Luis Ariz is not the answer to the trivia questions today.
Oh, darn, man. You know what? I'm still bringing you. I'm going to bring you lunch on Monday.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes, burritos are coming.
Oh, wow. Thank you,
Look
Brad.
at that.
I'm about to throw this thing now. Just kidding.
All right. So, Brad, we discussed an hour ago about the the team's payroll, 2025 payroll plus their tax to their 2024 revenue. So the question today is, who are the top 10 teams that paid the most money in payroll and luxury tax from last season? So who paid the most of the baseball teams last year? Brad,
let's go.
First guess.
Are you ready for an answer? Here we go.
Yep.
Dodgers.
The Dodgers paid the most at $549 million.
New York Metropolitans.
The Mets paid the second most at $400 million.
I'm going to go Padres.
Padres paid the sixth most at $275 million.
Toronto spends a lot of money.
Toronto paid the fifth most at $277 million.
Let's go Cubs.
Actually, you know what? I fooled you there. No, the Cubs actually paid the 25th most. I'm sorry, the 14th most. Sorry, the 25th was right above it at 213. So, Brad, that's your first strike.
26th in the league in percentage of revenue going to their payroll. Nobody gets mad at the Cubs. I digress from that.
No.
You guys were on such a roll, it just felt natural to hit
Oh,
the
my!
ding on
It's
that.
my turn.
Yes, it's your turn.
Yeah, it's up to you.
Texas Rangers. They spend a lot of money.
Rangers are 10th on that list.
Probably not going to be in the top 10 next year.
They spent $232 million on their payroll and taxes last year. Brad.
Let's go Astros.
The Astros are number 8 on that list. They spent $239 million in payroll and taxes last year.
I was complaining about the Cubs during that segment.
Yep.
I was also complaining about the Red Sox because the Red Sox get a pass, not for the percentage, because they can afford to pay this level. The Boston Red Sox.
The Red Sox are number 7 on that list. They spent $242 million in payroll and taxes last year. Brad? Got to get this one right.
Let's go Phillies.
Phillies are number 4.
Nice.
They spent $349 million in payroll and taxes last year. You can still tie, Brad.
Who are we missing?
Okay.
You're missing number 3 and number 9.
Has anybody said the Bankies yet? The New York Yankees?
Yankees are number 3.
Come on, Brad.
They spent $362 million. Brad, you can still tie, which gets you qualified.
Okay. Let's see who's out there.
I think I know what it is. I think I know what it is.
Yeah, don't go that route. Come on, man. Okay, I'm Atlanta.
Brad is qualified to go to a trip to Las Vegas.
The Braves. The Bravos.
Brad, hang on the line. Hang on the line. I'll get your information here during the break. The Braves were 9th on that list at $235 million spent this year between their payroll and their taxes.
There we go. Back-to-back days, qualifiers.
Exactly right.
How about it?
Look at that.
How about it?
We don't know about the biggest fan yesterday. Adam never told us if they did or didn't qualify or didn't call in.
Well, it'd be on the sheet. He has to put on the sheet if they did. So
it'd be cool if he told us.
It's true. We did know, though, that the blood drive yesterday got over 500 pints of blood.
Love that.
They were looking for 400. And I thought when Claudine joined us at noon and said that they were about just over halfway at noon and they still had 6 more hours, I'm like, they're going to get this.
That was a lock, yeah.
But I was like, well, let's shoot for more. And they got over 500 pints. So that was a great job. Big round of applause to all of you guys out there that donated blood yesterday.
Jasmine Witten did call in yesterday. So we have had back-to-back days, 4 of the last 5. So the person who calls it, the person who's
I'd love to know who that
is today
is, because
don't ruin it. I'm doing it right now. Relax.
Okay.
Calm yourself.
Wait a little long to do that, Francis.
I've waited longer.
True. He usually responds with it, oh, crap.
No, I knew I didn't do it. I've been so hectic today that I have.
Frank has been hectic on trying to make a lot of the experiences better for you guys that participate in the Braden Surprenant show. So we have finally launched what the morning show has had with the memberships on YouTube and stuff. So we have that.
We've done that?
I have that now. That's ready to go. I did that. I told you last night.
Oh, I didn't. Okay.
Yeah, that's part of the deal. So I guess
I can probably find someone to give us like.
You could be a member now.
I can probably get someone to make us some little like membership badges. Like
for online, yeah, they have that on there. I don't know how to do that stuff.
Like
so.
month 1 is like month 1. You get
you can custom. Yeah, if you want to make that, that's great. Yeah, for sure. The windsock badges. We have different tiers. We have different levels to the membership groups that I put together last night as I was trying to figure this out. Got the chat fam, the natural casings family, the anti-windsocks, and tier 4 is the frog and dog. So there you go. You have your tiers: chat fam, natural casings, anti-windsocks, and frog and dog.
Oh my God.
So now you need to you got to add some. Hopefully, you can add some membership badges like that. It's hilarious.
Yes, please.
I came up with that last night.
That's fantastic. That is the
so there's a lot of stuff on there that we got to be able
amazing.
to adjust and stuff and whatever it is. But yeah, the Braden Surprenant show page, you can become a member of the show.
That
now,
means we got
is great.
We got to start making like tier exclusive content.
Well, we're gonna do tier exclusive podcasts. I've decided. We'll do some stuff during the season and some other things. We're trying to up the ante with some of our content. So we got a lot of the content that we're going to add that's going to go to our commercial breaks as well.
Some of which we're going to be taping today.
Yeah, we're going to try to do that once a week to try to make it more entertaining for you guys on YouTube and be able to go back and watch on YouTube for exclusive content too. And you can do that on our page at @B_SURP @BSURP. We have our own YouTube page. Down below in the comments, you can see our YouTube page. Again, you can subscribe to our page for free, but then there's other things that you have with memberships like they do on the morning show that you can be a part of. You can also, give us the gifts, super gifts, whatever that is. I know Jake Waters has done that in the past. Super chats and stickers and all that fun stuff. I'm new to it, so I'm going to try to help out. We're going to try to set up some deals with the T-shirts. If you join the membership, getting the T-shirts out there, maybe we'll offer some T-shirts to members only and stuff like that. Well, there's a lot of different things that we're going to throw in there and kind of have fun with. So that's on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube page. Then you can be a member if you want. So you can go check all that information out on online. We're going to add some more stuff so you could be some VIPs for the Braden Surprenant crew. And yeah. So, one might be a natural casing just to say he's a natural casing. It's part of the memberships.
Fantastic.
I don't know how this works. The memberships, super chats, all that stuff. It's just there's more ways to earn. I've tried to do the gifts. I can't
We're two old souls trying to figure out technology.
Yeah, how's
and
this
it's-
YouTube stuff
it's
work?
going? It's going. It is happening at our pace.
We now broadcast our show live on Twitter, 97 through the Fan SD, as well as B_SURP. You can follow us on social media. We are broadcasting on my YouTube page where you can be a member, also on our Twitch stream, and then you can watch our videos too and our stuff on Twitter. We're going to try to be a little bit more active here in 2026. We got a lot of other things planned up out in the when we're out and about in San Diego that we're going to add video wise. So we're kind of new to this thing. We're going to try to make this thing happen and try to make the experience as good as possible for you guys out there that watch on YouTube and support us every single day. So a big thank you to you guys in doing that. But yeah, that's our new kind of announcement that we have, if you will. When we come back, 1 o'clock hour, some extra stuff on this Yu Darvish conversation and the San Diego Padres, what some of the national media are saying. We'll get to that to start the 1 o'clock hour, and Aztecs are in action tonight. There's a look at some of them. We're going to have Frank kind of walk around as I kind of go through what some of these promotional items are. But the Padres today announced their 2026 promotional schedule, including giveaways, theme games, and events. Every homestand, you can get single game tickets for the 2026 regular season home games on sale on Tuesday, February 3rd. So you got to still wait until next Tuesday at 10 in the morning Pacific time by visiting www.padres.com. Season ticket members have priority access to tickets and enjoy the best available seats. Season ticket memberships have sold out for the fourth consecutive season due to franchise record demand, and therefore all remaining tickets for the 2026 season are available on a single game basis. So these will be, you could buy tickets starting on February 3rd. There are 15 all-fan giveaways planned for the 2026, highlighted by fan favorites such as high-quality wearables, stylish hats, and bobbleheads, all of which take place during select home games throughout the season, limited to the first 40,000 fans in attendance. There are 3 different styles of hats this year, and there's a bunch of other stuff. We're going to get to that, but we'll just kind of go through the beginning of the season to the end, and see if you can follow along here, Frank, with what we got. But the first giveaway will be on Friday, March 27th. That's the day after opening day. That's the Tony Gwynn opening day. There's going to be an opening series scarf presented by Sequan Casino Resort. Start season in style with a Cozy Padres opening series scarf, which looks nice. It's great. Nice little scarf. At the beginning games, the early games at Petco Park are usually kind of chilly. But that's a good-looking scarf right there. So that will be against the Tigers on Friday, March 27th. On Monday, March 30th, this one's super cool. On Monday, March 30th, they have I'm a sucker for 1998 stuff. They have a 1998 belt bag, which is perfect for it's a bag that you can bring into the ballpark, which is awesome. I know my mom's got a bag like that. My girlfriend's got a bag like that. There's a lot of different. My sister's got a bag like that, and a lot of people use them to get in the stadiums, but now you can have a Padres one, which is great. So 1998 colors too. So they've seen they've debuted the original one that they had. They've had a City Connect one, and now they got a Padres 1998 belt bag. So that will be pretty cool for everybody out there. That's Monday, March 30th. On to Thursday, April 9th against the Rockies will be the Manny's Hot Corner bobblehead. So it's Manny Machado playing third base. They got the flames around the side. It's presented by McDonald's. First 40,000 in attendance. Display-worthy collectible features Machado at third base and is a keepsake for all the faithful. That's a nice little. I like the little bottom there. That's pretty cool. What is that? Is that the armband? Pink armband? Yeah, it looks nice. Again, if you want to go back, you can rewatch this on YouTube and take a look at everything in the on the deal here. Let's move on to the next one. Wednesday, April 15th versus Seattle Mariners. The puffer vest presented by State Farm. That's that vest right there on the table. That's pretty nice. The best part about this is, like, when I was a kid, like, some of the giveaways were kind of lame, but now they have made them so legit. I mean, that's a nice little vest right there. It's presented by State Farm. That will be, again, on April 15th against the Seattle Mariners, a Wednesday game at 6:40. Not a Wednesday day game. It's a Wednesday night game. First 40,000 fans get that. Against the Cubs, There's a waffle beanie presented by Motorola Razr. Waffle beanies on April 28th against the Cubs. Top off your fit with a soft waffle beanie made for night games at the ball and a ballpark photo op. This item is limited to the first 40,000 fans in attendance as well. So that's pretty cool. I like the bobblehead. The one they had last year was cool too. But the beanie. The one they had last year was cool too. First bobblehead for Mason Miller, Thursday, May 7th, at least in a Padres uniform. They got the Mason Miller bobblehead. Watch your speed. Elite pitching with a bobblehead that nods to Miller's clutch moments on the mound. He's got fire coming off of the baseball on his delivery, which is super cool. You can bring that a little bit closer to the camera if you want. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So Mason Miller bobblehead giveaway Thursday, May 7th. And it's about that time. It's 1 o'clock. You know what that means? You know what that means, Frank?
It's time for me to post the Hour 3 podcast.
Yes, it is time for you to do that. It's also time to announce today's biggest fan. Congratulations to today's biggest fan. Hang on.
It's ready.
Are we back on YouTube yet? Or
Oh, yeah, we are. But
it's a lot of moving parts.
I just gotta change
I know,
the thing. Relax, calm
There's no music being played. I want to make sure they don't start screaming at you for the music.
Fine, everyone
covers up the most important part of the show, which is the biggest fan part.
It's going to hate me anyway. Congratulations,
today's biggest fan, David Rodriguez in Escondido. David Rodriguez in Escondido. Give us a call within the next 10 minutes. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. And you'll qualify for our grand prize, 20 tickets for you and your friends for a night in our Odyssey Suite at a Padres game with all the fan staff later this season. Catered by Spiro's Mediterranean Cuisine. Remember to register your name at 97 through thefansd.com/biggest fan. David Rodriguez in Escondido. You got 10 minutes, man. Give us a call. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973.
Did you happen to see who won it this morning?
No, I did not.
Won Cole Brooks in San Marcos.
Wow, Cole, winner in the morning.
I believe there's only 5 more names getting called, unless this is yet to be updated again. There's only 5 more names getting called. Gwen and Chris has 2 more. We've got 1 more, obviously not including David. In the morning show has tomorrow and Friday. That's it.
There you go. Your boy David Rodriguez called in. And he's gone. He was calling in.
That was not, unless I'm.
I mean, Rod goes by his last name.
Well, then why'd you hang up?
I didn't.
Rod.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he did. I don't know. David Rodriguez in Escondido. Give us a call. Anyway. All right. We'll wait for that. Let's get to the conversation about, what did I want to talk about here? What did I tease? Oh, let's play the couple of the clips, okay? So let's hunt down. You were busy with some other stuff, but you did have some of this stuff from Foul Territory, right?
Yes, I saw that Kevin Acee was on Foul Territory earlier today.
And he answered a couple of things. One of them was about the Yu Darvish situation, and the other one was about Fernando Tatis Jr. I want to stick to this on the situation of Yu Darvish. Okay. That's right. We'll stick with that because I want to hear from John Paul Morosi too on MLB Network, and I'll find you that clip that I saw earlier yesterday.
I've got Acee's ready to go.
But this was Kevin Acee from the San Diego Union Tribune on Foul Territory discussing the Yu Darvish situation, which is in limbo. Padres have unofficially budgeted the money from his contract that they'd save if they were to walk away. If he were to walk away, says Kevin Acee. Here's what Kevin had to say.
Can they get the money back? If he says I void, wouldn't they want the Padres want him to do this sooner than later because I'm not exactly the number he's making, but I'm assuming it's around 20-ish million, if not more, then the Padres can save that.
Yeah.
Okay, so then they could say, hey, we could use that towards.
Oh, no, that's something that they have sort of unofficially budgeted for 2026 and beyond is this money. This has been an ongoing thing where, it's a big decision for you. So it's not like, he has, I don't know if I want to say gone back and forth or whatever, but he has not been definitive to them until recently that this is definitely going to be the case, that they are going to get money back.
Interesting. So they've budgeted. Is that what he said? They have budgeted for this?
They have budgeted, yes. He said that they have budgeted the money that they would be getting back from you, Darvish.
Interesting. So that I can see why now that Kevin Acee was so about putting this out. I can see now why he was confident in putting this news out there on Saturday about you, Darvish, potentially retiring. Now, it's not retirement to a point. It is voiding the current contract, which is interesting. Like no other player does this, and this is like this is what happens with the conflicting reports about this. Because now what happens is it gets the national media talking about how XYZ. Oh, the Padres are like trying to get. No, the Padres aren't trying to do anything. You Darvish is just the type of guy that would void a contract. I mean, that's not shocking to me. But this isn't saying now the conversation is about you Darvish potentially voiding his contract. That if he voids his contract, he could still. I mean, at this point, so he could do it. Now, there's a lot of hoops he's got to jump through because the Players Association. There's no way he's fired up about this. There's no way they're fired up about this. But with him voiding his contract, it would then be somewhat of a free agent. You can then re-sign him back to the Padres for a different deal if you wanted to. He could try to do that and go through a rehab process and do that all with the Padres on like a minor league deal. He could theoretically do that. He could also try to come back, right? Work out a deal where the Padres cover a lot of the deals of, the medical and everything like that. And he could try to throw, and maybe he wants to throw again, and the Padres don't see him as part of the conversation in the future. And he goes and signs with somebody else and he pitches with somebody else. I mean, there's a lot of different things that this can go about, but it sounds like, the conversation about him voiding the contract, and it sounds like the Padres might be, in a sense, thinking about what they would do budget-wise with the money if it's freed up, if you, Darvish, ends up voiding the contract. Now, I think they have to do that regardless, right? You have to have multiple plans for your business. You have to have the plan of, okay, are we going to have this money? Or are we not going to have this money? If we don't have this money and we got to pay you Darvish here for this, remainder of this contract, then we have to go with this route. But if in fact this money does free up, we can go this route. I think the Padres doing their due diligence makes a lot of sense in this particular case, but the voiding of the contract seems very interesting to me. Seems very interesting to me. Now, I saw this happen yesterday, and maybe it wasn't on MLB Network, but I saw John Palmarosi talking about, oh, no, there it is. I just literally found it as soon as I clicked away. But John Palmarosi was on Hot Stove yesterday, and I'm going to find the clip.
I'm looking through.
Here it is. It's from January 27th, which was, in fact, yesterday. John Morosi discusses reports of Yu Darvish leaning towards voiding his current contract with the Padres and what it could mean for San Diego. MLB Network did tweet that out yesterday at 9:38 in the morning. We were, doing the blood drive and all this other stuff, and we had already talked about it. But there's a little bit more information from John Palmarosi, and I think he does a really good job explaining the whole voiding of a contract. As Yu Darvish says, he is leaning towards voiding his current deal with the Padres. His agent, again, as mentioned before, Yu has not made a final decision yet. This is a complicated matter we are still trying to work through. So we talked about it briefly yesterday. We really talked about it more a couple of days ago because this is the news that happened over the weekend. But it's an interesting dialogue. And the agent is not lying in the sense that it is very complicated. Like, how have you ever seen anybody void a contract?
No.
Just be like, well, it's not fair for you to pay this. It's interesting to me that is even part of a conversation for a guy like, you Darvish. But he kind of did that already by asking to be put on the restricted list when he was missing time due to a personal matter where he didn't get paid. That was Yu's decision. That was Yu's decision and idea, not necessarily the Padres. You have the clip?
Yes, I do.
Here's John Palmarosi on MLB Network's Hot Stove discussing the reports of Yu Darvish leaning towards voiding his current contract with the Padres and what it could mean for San Diego.
We've gone back and forth about Yu Darvish and his future, about contemplating retirement. What happens with his contract? Would he have to void it? Where are we right now in the 39-year-old?
Yeah, Lauren, it's a very complicated situation right now. And Kevin Acee in the San Diego Union Tribune wrote a story recently about the possibility of Darvish retiring with still 3 years and $46 million left on his contract. So there are a few different ways this could go. And the most important thing is that Darvish has said on X that he plans to try to continue rehabbing his elbow from arm surgery and to try to get himself to be fit again to be able to pitch. If that does not happen, then retirement becomes a possibility to see what he's done throughout his amazing career in Major League Baseball. If he cannot pitch anymore, he really has three options. Number one, he could continue to still be on the roster, which again allows him to be paid, even though he can't come back and pitch. Number two would be he would just walk away from the contract, which is rare but has happened before. The third option would be to renegotiate the contract such that you pay out the money over a longer period of time, that you still make the money, but it is paid out with deferred money. And that, Lauren, is really important if that ends up being the decision, because that would allow the Padres to have better cash flow for the near term and potentially sign one more free agent pitcher. A lot of arms still out there. Scherzer, Verlander, Gallen, Giolito, a lot of big-time names that are still there and available. So if that decision is made soon enough, and if the contract is renegotiated, the Padres could still jump back into the hot stove a little bit later than usual.
From a perspective of Darvish voiding his contract, the Padres free up a ton of money. They can go get another pitcher, Frank. It's just exactly what they need. I mean, if you could work out a deal where that's the case, I mean, it's good news for the Padres, right? If you void the contract, sign Yu Darvish to a different contract on a minor league deal, so he still gets paid to be to rehab and everything like that. And then maybe if he thinks he could pitch, you give him an extension, or you give him a 2-year deal, or whatever it is. I mean, to me, this is the way in Major League Baseball you would be able to restructure a contract like the National Football League. Because nobody restructures contracts in Major League Baseball. Those are fully guaranteed contracts that players just take the money. But the mindset of Yu Darvish is different than a guy like Anthony Rendon. I mean, you have an opportunity to do something like this that, is the benefit of your team, but is the benefit of having a guy like Yu Darvish part of your organization. This is now your loophole, right, Frank?
Yeah.
I mean, this is your loophole.
Yeah, as you said, we know Darvish is not about the money. And as we said on Monday from the report, that Darvish does not see unearned money as his money. So he views the money that's left on his contract as the Padres' money, that he hasn't earned that yet because he hasn't pitched yet. We laid this out at the beginning of the year when it was just a hypothetical scenario of could Yu Darvish retire, that how much that extra money would go to helping this team and helping this organization, and especially be able to pick up a starting pitcher. That money, I think, could get you a solid guy like a Lucas Giolito that can fill out the back end of your rotation and not have to lean so much on a Tristan McKenzie or a Matt Waldron coming back up. You can also probably trade and maybe extend somebody that you trade and extend for somebody who you think who you like that maybe no one's really talked about.
Your contract right now with you, Darvish, of what you still owe, like per the so right now, because of his AAV, he is getting, $18 million towards the AAV, and he's got 3 years left. So you could theoretically sign somebody to a 3-year, $54 million deal, which to me is like you could get some of these pitchers for that. You can get a guy on the free agent market.
You think Zach Gallen would do that?
I have to look at the Fangraphs kind of, because I think Fangraphs does a pretty good job on the free agent tracker to give you like a somewhat of a ballpark of some of these things.
No pun intended.
Some of a ballpark. I mean, you're not going to be able to get like a Framber Valdez for that, right? Or, but like if you look at the projected WAR for these players, like you're looking at the two best pitchers available according to Fangraphs for what they are expected to do next season on their predictions. The two best starting pitchers on the market are Valdez, and Zach Gallen. The current prediction for Framber Valdez is a 5-year, $140 million contract. Now, if you look at it from the perspective of you were already paying the money for Yu Darvish anyway, and then you add the money, like you would just be adding whatever it is. So you'd be adding an additional 10. So if you sign Framber Valdez, and now this is the extreme because he's at the top, and this is a hypothetical, of course. This is according to the Fangraphs idea. You already are paying Yu Darvish. He is accounting for 3 years, $18 million AAV, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to get to the 28, if you sign, if Yu Darvish voids his contract and you sign Framber Valdez for this particular number that Fangraphs puts out, you follow me so far?
Yes.
It's like adding a player on a 3-year, $30 million a year deal.
Mm-hmm.
On top of whatever right? Because you already are paying Yu Darvish. So that's like giving Framber Valdez $10 million a year.
Yeah. Theoretically.
Now, you don't have Yu Darvish party. I mean, you'd have to sign into a minor league deal if you want to part of the organization, all that other stuff. Mm-hmm. But, can the question then would be, can the Padres afford adding, as of right now, without voiding Yu's contract, can they add a pitcher for $10 million? And if the answer is yes, and you void Yu's contract, you could sign Framber Valdez to a multi-year deal, 3 to 5 year deal at $28 million a year, and it works as a $10 million a year ad on a pitcher. Now, if you want to get a guy like Zach Gallen, you could probably exchange. Now, Zach Gallen's expected to get a 2-year, $22 million deal. Mm-hmm. So again, you're looking at adding a pitcher for a couple of million instead, assuming that you keep that. A guy like Nick Martinez is expected to get, just around a one-year deal with a club option or a 2-year deal for $14 million. I mean, you get a guy like him, you're actually saving money on top of that. Maybe you can get a couple of players, right? So you could do a lot of different things with contracts if Yu Darvish voids the contract. But again, in my opinion, that's Yu's call. That shouldn't be. That's not the Padres' call. That's not the Padres trying to persuade it. That is 100% up to you. If Yu wants to do that and he feels like he has to, I mean, that's his call. If he wants to keep the money, I have no problem with that. That's his right. They signed the contract. They have to honor the contract that they signed with Yu Darvish. But if he wants to void his contract, you got a lot of options out there. And you got options that add multiple pieces that saves you money, and that would be your loophole to help you compete as everybody starts finding loopholes.
Yeah, and that's Adam put in the chat, isn't what Yu's trying to do something the union would oppose and try to prevent from happening? Yes, absolutely,
I guarantee
100%.
And that's probably why his agent said this is a very complicated matter.
Yeah, and for the union, the union's play is going to be, oh, well, now any team can force any player to do this. No, because the player also has to agree to it. And we have that inkling of, we've seen what Yu Darvish is like personally when it comes to this exact situation, he gave up that money to go on the restricted list. Padres did not want to do that. So, I mean, there's a chance that Darvish possibly is the one that brought this option out, saying, hey, listen, I'm not what I was when I signed this contract. I don't think I'm going to get there. I don't know if I'll ever be able to pitch again. You guys need help. You guys need something to be able, you guys need a little bit more to be able to compete with the Dodgers, to be able to compete in the National League, to get to the World Series. This is my way of being able to help you guys without physically being on the field to be able to help you guys.
My thing is with this, with this particular conversation with Darvish, the thing is with it, if he had not put himself on the restricted list and the Padres had not had to ask Major League Baseball permission to put him on the restricted list when he missed time a couple of years ago for a personal matter because he didn't want. If he had not done that, I would say I don't know what Darvish is thinking.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
But he did that. And so now it's like, okay, well, he has made enough money that he does not care about the money. I said this in November. We got to take a break. But another idea of what you could do with the money if Darvish just decides to void his contract. I have an idea when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego State Sports Station 97 through the Fan. If you missed anything that we have said already, if you're driving around, we're talking about the promotional giveaways for the Padres here in 2026. If you want to check out the website, where you could get this is padres.com/giveaways, and it'll have the whole list. And again, if you want to buy tickets to these games, you could start going. The single game tickets are on sale on Tuesday, February 3rd at 10 in the morning. That's the first chance that you have. Obviously, season ticket memberships have priority to do that. As we move along, we got the patriotic Aloha shirt for the day after Memorial Day. I think May 26th. So it's a Tuesday. Maybe it's coming before, but celebrate America's upcoming 250th birthday with the Padres theme patriotic Aloha shirt. Pretty nice. Got the Blue Angels on there. It's got the Padres logo. It's got the Padres military logo on a baseball. Nice little Hawaiian shirt, patriotic against the Phillies on May 26th. Coming up on Tuesday, June 9th against the Reds. Bogey goes boom bobblehead. You got a Xander Bogaerts finishing his home run swing with his signature gray and maroon bat. So that's pretty cool bobblehead as well. It's presented by Palomar Specialty Insurance on June 9th. So Bogaerts has a bobblehead on Tuesday, June 9th. Coming up on Monday, June 22nd against the Atlanta Braves. Got the Western snapback hat. Kind of looks like a rodeo hat. It's pretty cool looking. It's got San Diego Padres in the Western font, if you will, or San Diego Padres written in Western font with the SD logo in the middle. Pretty cool looking hat right there. That's presented by Petco. First 40,000 fans in attendance will have that one. Again, all of these are for the first 40,000 fans for these, unless I say otherwise. Wednesday, July 8th, Trevor Hoffman bobblehead. He's repping the navy blue 1998 gear. Honor the Hall of Famer and Padres legendary closer with the Trevor Hoffman bobblehead. Presented by Canels. This bobblehead limited the first 40,000 fans, so it's in stride. Trevor Hoffman, kind of a classic look at bobblehead against the Diamondbacks in July. On July 12th, just for the kids, they have the Squeeze Top water bottle, which is a kids giveaway. I don't know if they have that here today because it's a kids giveaway. Again, some of these are for the first 40,000 fans. Some of them are for the first 10,000 fans. It's a kind of little water bottle for kids 14 and under. It looks like an ice cream sundae, which is pretty cool. Tuesday, July 28th. I know a lot of you guys love this one. It's presented by Soapy Joe's The Poncho. Got the San Diego Padres poncho. Looks pretty nice. I like it. I'm sure you'll see a lot of you guys repping that out there at Padre games. That's on July 28th. Bucket hats. Everybody loves the bucket hat. You got a reversible bucket hat, which you have multiple looks for. You have the Padres white home uniform version. You also have the sand away version as well with the swinging fryer on it. Multiple looks. Home and away bucket hat will be Thursday, July 30th against the Giants. A 6:40 start, first 40,000 fans. Coming up on August 10th, a superhero pocket tee presented by San Diego Community Power, which is pretty cool. Usually right after the Comic-Con road trip that the Padres have to go on. So a little bit of a superhero t-shirt. Pretty good front and back. It's got that front pocket. Small logo in the front, big logo in the back. It's good style for a t-shirt, let me tell you. Coming up on Sunday, August 23rd, it's another kids giveaway. You can check that on the website. Monday, August 24th, the next day against the Pirates, you got the Jackson Merrill robbery bobblehead. So it's Jackson Merrill robbing a home run with the blue fence right there in his home uniform. It's a pretty cool looking bobblehead. And then this is the best one. You thought you were going to give away. You thought you were going to get a secret. You thought you were going to get a secret. You thought you were going to find out about the City Connect uniforms. Well, we have the bobblehead for the City Connect uniforms. It just hasn't been painted yet. They're not going to display that until the new City Connect uniforms are out. But they have the Fernando Tatis City Connect bobblehead presented by Big Bully Turf. That will be on Tuesday, September 8th against the Washington Nationals. Dressed in the Padres City Connect 2.0, the Tatis City Connect bobblehead presented by Big Bully Turf channels Nando's flair at the plate, limited to the first 40,000 fans in attendance. Dynamic details of this bobblehead will make it a centerpiece for your collectibles. Again, we don't know what the City Connect uniforms are yet, but that is what that will look like. All guests on 97 through the Fan, join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. We are broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios. We know how. A couple of segments left here on the show. We kind of want to finish up this Yu Darvish conversation. Okay, I mentioned it. And it sounds like, according to John Heyman, there have been talks with the Padres, apparently, and starting pitchers. There's a lot of teams checking on starting pitchers. Teams still seriously considering starting pitchers with 2 weeks to go. Orioles, Tigers, Diamondbacks, Padres, Braves, Yankees, Cubs, Angels, Giants, Rays, A's, White Sox, and maybe Jays, Marlins, and Phillies. John, you could have just put the entire league. In fact, that should be the sports question for tomorrow. Midday sports standoff question. Frank Marchese style. What are the teams that John Heyman did not say are still seriously considering starting pitchers with 2 weeks to go in his tweet yesterday? Orioles, Tigers, Diamondbacks, Padres, Braves, Yankees, Cubs, Angels, Giants, Rays, A's, White Sox, Jays, Marlins, Phillies. That's 15 teams on the list. Thanks, John. Appreciate the reporting, buddy. Appreciate it. The other report, too, of course, was from John Heyman. It said if I saw this correctly, I got to find the tweet again. But it looks like according to John Heyman, he has heard the Padres have checked in on Zach Gallen. Okay, well, this goes back to what we were talking about before. If Yu Darvish decides to void his contract, again, that is his decision thing. Then the Padres are now open to sign a bigger free agent. Now, here's the deal. Do you think Zach Gallen would do a prove-it deal? Do you think Zach Gallen would sign a Nick Pivetta deal, Frank? At age 30?
Gallen's good, though.
I know, that's what I'm saying. What are you saying, Nick Pivetta is not?
No, I mean, Gallen has proven, I think Gallen has proven more than Pivetta had throughout his career at that time. I think Gallen has proven to be one of the top flight starters in the league, where Pivetta really hadn't. I I don't know if he would do that. It'd be an interesting shout to throw it out at him to see if he would, but I don't think he would.
I mean, he didn't have that great of a year last year.
I know he was. I know he did, but his overall body of work
year. But what I'm saying is that means you could probably get him at a more affordable deal.
I agree.
He's been in the National League West. He's spent time in the National League West. He knows the league. And if you're Zach Gallen at age 30, you are not going to get the contract you think you're going to get.
No.
After the season that you just had with a 4.83 ERA. He is the perfect candidate for a prove-it deal. He is the perfect candidate for a prove-it deal. You take a one-year deal with a buyout that makes it worth your while, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you get a one-year deal. You make it like, $8 million, $8 or $9 million in the first year, and then you have.
If the Rangers were going to overpay for Zach Gallen, they would have done it already.
Yeah, they traded for Mackenzie Gore instead.
Yeah, they would have.
The Rangers are actually cutting payroll right now. But Zach Gallen, he's coming off of a season with 13-15. He had the lowest WAR in his career last year. He had a 4.83 ERA, and this is in 33 starts. He had the worst year of his career last year. He kind of needs a prove-it deal. So you work out a contract that's kind of like Nick Pavetta's, where he has like an opt-out, opt-in, this sort of stuff, and a buyout.
When I hear that Nick Pivetta contract, I'm hearing $1 million the first year.
Yes,
I don't know if he would do. I really don't.
Yeah, but it gets backloaded on other entities.
I understand that.
So it's not really. It's like a Michael King situation from last year, where. Yeah, it's only costing you this towards the books, but you're actually getting this amount of money because he's going to opt out and then collect the money.
Yeah, I just don't think he would take as little as $1 million. I think
but
it would have to be like five or six.
He wouldn't be getting $1 million. He would be getting at the end of the year $10 to $11 million based on what the buyout is. Does that make sense?
Right, and I agree.
So then you
with
wouldn't be
Adam
getting
here, that
11
He's
million
much
here.
more proven than Pivetta was.
Right, he is, but he had a bad year. And if he doesn't, but would you rather just sit?
That could be an anomaly.
Correct, but that doesn't mean teams aren't going to they're not going to give him, he's not going to be able to get the most he could possibly get. And with every coming year adds another year of age. If he takes a one-year deal, like the Michael King deal last year, at the end of this, and he balls out, then he could still sign a bigger deal at age 31. I mean, Framber Valdez is waiting for a big contract at age 32. He's going to get something like that.
Okay. So let me just
Ranger Suarez was 30 this year.
Let me just make sure we're on the same page here. Do you think with this Zach Gallen conversation, are you saying he should sign a 1-year deal and then just go back to free agency, or 1-year deal with a player option with more years behind it?
I'm saying you signed the Michael King deal from last year, which is, here are all these player options that you have, and if he opts out, there's a buyout for the Padres, which then makes his contract bigger, and then throw incentives in there.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to, with how proven he is, I don't think you're going to be able to get away with a ridiculously low year one and then quadruple it in year two. I don't think you'd be able to do that. I think it's going to have to be somewhat similar, like maybe 10 the first year and then 17 the next. I don't think he's going to be able, I don't think he's going to go so low. And this is the time, like as far as free agency is concerned, this is the time where you're going to have to get creative if you want to sign some of these guys, because free agency's gone too long. Guys that would just throw the bag at these guys have already gotten their stuff in. So this is creativity time. I don't see him signing a ridiculously low contract based off of what he has already done in the major leagues. Last year could be an anomaly. The Diamondbacks last year was an anomaly because they were ravaged by injuries. I don't see him signing a couple $1 million deal and then accepting $20 million the next year if he performs.
That's not what
well.
I'm saying. Adam understands what I'm saying in the chat. You sign a small deal that only counts towards your AAV right now of like a 1 year, whatever. That's what it's going to look like. But then you give him a mutual option for $20 million that he's not going to accept. And with the mutual option, there's a buyout. And what you do is you make the buyout like $10 million, and then that gets added. So instead of like if you made it a $8 million, like a $5 to $7 million buyout, and you gave him like $8 million, then he's not just getting $8 million. He's guaranteed to get, $15 to $17 million on a 1 year. It's going to look like something else.
All right.
If that
I
makes
would
sense.
be, I think he would probably be a
And
little bit more
the reason
inclined
why
to
he would do
then.
that is because he wants a massive contract, probably. Okay. This is the time for him to make a lot of money. He's not going to be able to do that coming off of a year that he just had. Teams aren't going to give him that, because if they were, he would have signed by now. But they're not.
Exactly, yeah.
And with every going day now, the leverage starts to flip to organizations. Organizations now have the leverage in this particular deal. And then I would also give him a signing bonus. Throw a signing bonus in there. I mean, there's ways and incentives to make it look like there's ways that AJ probably could get creative where the AAV is low, because that's all that really matters, and he gets his money, and then you let him walk. So you do that, and then the money you save with that particular deal, because he's the perfect candidate for a make it happen deal to bet on himself. Because if he does that and he works with Ruben Niebla, that's what I would pitch. Show him the whole lab that they have at Point Loma Nazarene, and he works with Ruben Niebla, and he's on a winning team. So he gets to be on a team that's competing. He gets to work with the best pitching coaches in Major League Baseball. He still gets a good wage for 2026, and he could still and he gets to be in a pitcher's friendly ballpark like Petco Park, not the bandbox that is Arizona with high altitude, everything like that. And he gets to put together a good year with incentives, and then he can hit free agency next year, 31, which is still relatively low, and get a 5-year deal and finally make his money in the next phase. I think the chances of him getting that contract now are out the window because it has taken too long. So you get Gallen at somewhat of a discount for the Padres. And then if Yu Darvish ends up voiding his contract, use that extra money to get a lower level starter like a Nick Martinez or a Lucas Giolito or one of those players that aren't going to cost a lot on a 2 or 3 year deal. And now your starting rotation is built. You bring Yu Darvish back on a minor league contract so he gets the rehab with the San Diego Padres, right? And he gets to be here and you could see how the medicals work and all that stuff. And then at the end of this season, sure, Gallen will be gone. Hopefully the other guy that you signed is on a 2-year deal, so you have him coming back, and then you get to see if Yu Darvish has what it takes to come back on a smaller deal. So there's a lot of upside for both parties in this particular case, and it would build out the rotation. Now, this really only works if Yu Darvish voids his contract, because I don't know how much money that they have willing to spend over the whatever. But you could get some of these. You could get a Zach Gallen a little bit cheaper, and we've seen Adrian Preller pull that off. Mm-hmm. And then you get another pitcher in like kind of the middle. I really like Max Scherzer, but if you could get a guy like a Giolito or a Nick Martinez for a 2-year contract, then all of a sudden you have more stability in your rotation, not only for this year, but the next year. And then the last thing that you would need is some type of bat, right? And I think you could get that at the deadline, where this rotation now is kind of built out, where you don't necessarily have to use that capital for a pitcher. Maybe you get another arm here or there, but your bullpen's loaded. Your starting pitching sense in that particular case would be Pivetta, King, Musgrove, Gallen, not in that order, and a Nick Martinez. Now you don't have to use, like, Randy Vasquez is an extra arm, JP Sears is an extra arm, Tristan McKenzie's an extra arm, Matt Waldron's an extra arm. Now you have 4 extra arms And when Joe Musgrove wants to go back to our first hour of the show of him being the most important player on the team and his willingness to kind of take some time throughout the year to be ready for October, now you can do that and move the rotation around. It gives you a lot of options, and I'd rather roll with that than potentially just go in and get a bat with that money. But these are some of the situations that open the door a little bit if Darvish decides to void his contract.
Yeah, and the way you explained it that last time, I think Gallen would be a lot more open and receptive to that. As I believe it was I Need Money in the chat said, it's kind of like a signing bonus in reverse. Like you get the signing bonus after the year is over, plus a signing bonus before the year. So yeah, I think he would be a little bit more receptive to that.
Right. Why would Darvish decide to void his contract? Have you been paying attention to the news at all? Doesn't make a lot of sense to us. He's willing to do that, apparently. Can't tell you why. Final segment of the show. Aztecs basketball tonight, USD basketball tonight, local college basketball. Get you an update of where everything stands as we finish the show. And lead you into Gwynn and Chris on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 through the Fan.
Go ball! Go ball! Off the wall! Hit the weight room!
Hughes bat, it has a new bat.
Oh, he's got
and
one.
Nobody's gone deep in it with it yet. But he's about to film me do it.
He got on top of it.
Go!
Oh, ain't nobody else wearing a water t-shirt. Expand. Down.
Oh, yeah. I got it.
Easy. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I'm sorry? You hanging out with his sister too much that he gets hurt?
Okay,
he goes to get placed in the
now
IL?
Now that the mics come on, you want to say
I'm just saying, dude.
crazy.
Hey, man. He goes to the IL. All of a sudden, you would hang out with his sister. He goes to the IL.
I guess I have a noodle. A large.
Hey, good job,
soft,
Sam.
Wet.
God. Sorry, batting last.
Coming.
Down! Wow.
That was a hose.
Stay down. Good. Please catch it. Nice.
Drink Mountain Valley, baby.
I don't know. He is wearing a Panthers hat.
Oh, that's a good one.
What a team guy. I don't like
You know
Matt.
what? Cam Newton.
Selfish. I like Jalen Hurts more. I like Cam Newton. I'll go Jalen
Something
Hurts.
about Flacco, though.
That's why you're batting last.
Something about Flacco, I trust. This gets me going. Look at that
Oh,
PFP.
look at the PFPs by one.
It's like it's everything that I
Oh,
want.
good oppo shot.
Nicky, that's
Hey, Nicky! Out of way, Nicky! Come on, Ethan! Go, Ethan! Why are you stopping?
Braden running. This is why we can't win a ball game. We have no awareness on the pass. Like it's just.
Why did he
I expect better from you.
I didn't want to pass him.
What a team guy. Joel's such a team guy compared
reminds
to
me of Cam
Matt,
Newton
who's
refusing
not
to
a
jump on
not a
that
team
fourth
guy.
Go ball! Go ball!
Off the wall! Hit the weight room!
Hughes bat, it has a new bat.
Oh, he's got
and
one.
nobody's gone deep in it with it yet. But he's about to film me do it.
He got on top of it.
Go!
Oh,
ain't nobody else wearing a water t-shirt. Expand.
Down.
Oh, yeah. I got it.
Easy. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
I'm sorry?
You hanging out with his sister too much that he gets hurt? He goes to get
now
placed in the
that
IL?
Now that the mics come on, you want to say that
I'm just
story?
saying,
That's
dude.
crazy.
Hey, man. He goes to the IL. All of a sudden, you would hang out with his sister. He goes to the IL.
I guess I have a noodle. A large.
Hey, good job,
soft,
Sam.
Wet.
God. Sorry, batting last.
Coming.
Down! Wow.
That was a hose.
Stay down. Good. Please catch it. Nice.
Drink Mountain Valley, baby.
call.
I don't know. He is wearing a Panthers hat.
Oh, that's a good one.
What a team guy. I like
You know
Matt.
what? Cam Newton.
Selfish. I like Jalen Hurts more. I like Cam Newton. I'm going to go Jalen
Something
Hurts.
about Flacco, though.
That's why you're betting last.
Something about Flacco, I trust. This gets me going.
Look at that
Oh, look at the
PFP.
PFPs by 1.
It's like it's everything that I
Oh,
want.
good oppo shot.
Nicky,
Hey! That away, Nicky! Come on, Ethan! Go, Ethan! Why are you stopping?
Braden running.
This is why we can't win a ball game. We have no awareness on the pass. Like it's just.
Why did he stop?
I expect better from
Everyone
you.
else remember when he 20 minutes? I didn't want to pass him.
What a team guy. Joel's such a team guy compared
reminds
to
me of Cam
Matt,
Newton
who's
refusing
not
to
a
jump on
not a
that
team
fourth
guy.
Go ball! Go ball!
Oh, off the wall! Hit the weight room.
Hughes bat, it has a new bat.
Oh, he's got
And
one.
nobody's gone deep in it with it yet. But he's about to film me do it.
He got on top of it.
Go,
Go.
Oh, ain't nobody else wearing a water t-shirt. Expand.
Ah. Down.
Oh, yeah. I got it.
Easy.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
I'm sorry?
You hanging out with his sister too much that he gets hurt?
Okay,
he goes to get placed in
now
the
that
IL?
now that the mics come on, you want to say
I'm
that
just
story is
saying, dude.
crazy.
Hey, man. He goes to the IL. All of a sudden, you would hang out with his sister. He goes to the IL.
I guess I have a noodle. A large.
Hey, good job,
soft,
Sam.
Wet.
God. Sorry, batting last.
Coming.
Down! Wow.
That was a hose.
Stay down. Good. Please catch it. Nice.
Drink Mountain Valley, baby.
I don't know. He is wearing a Panthers
Oh,
hat.
that's a good one.
What a team guy. I like
You know
Matt.
what? Cam Newton.
Selfish. I like Jalen Hurts more. I like Cam Newton. I'm going to go Jalen
Something
Hurts.
about Flacco, though.
That's why you're betting last.
Something about Flacco, I trust. This gets me going.
Look at that
Oh, look at
PFP.
the PFPs by 1.
It's like it's everything that I
Oh,
want.
good oppo shot.
Nicky,
And recapping college basketball with USD in action today, as well as San Diego State. Saturday, we'll be broadcasting live at FanFest. We're going to be on from 12 to 2 over at FanFest. Should be a fun time. Looking forward to that. Ben and Woods will be on from 10 to 12. We'll be on 12 to 2, and Gwen and Chris from 2 to 4. And then UCSD basketball at 5 o'clock. It's going to be great. Looking forward to Saturday. We got a couple of days left in this week that we're going to have shows for. Friday, Drake will join us. We will talk some San Diego FC. They start next week. Their first game's next week already. See what the latest is on the Chucky Lozano situation as well. A lot of other transfers that have happened as well. We'll get a full SDFC report on Friday. Want to get to your phone calls, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's get out to Tim in Miramar. Tim, what's going on?
Hey, boys. How's it going?
Doing well. Getting ready for Padres baseball, Tim.
Yeah, maybe we get our credentials back this year. But, hey, a couple things. I know you've been talking about money spending for the Pods. I understand the axiom can never have enough pitching, right? But I've got to ask, what stopped the Padres last year in the playoffs against the Cubs, pitching or hitting?
Probably a little combination of both. Starting pitching wasn't spectacular, but they were not able to get any pop out of the lineup.
And how about 2 years ago against the Dodgers when they needed one more win? What stopped them, pitching or hitting?
Not able to hit.
So I understand we need pitching guys, but we need more pop. 90 wins, 94 wins. These pitching staffs have gotten us to the playoffs. That's great, making the playoffs, but that's not what it's all about. We're trying to have a parade here. They've got to spend some money. I was so hoping they'd get Chisholm from the Yankees. So hoping they could trade Cronenworth and get Chisholm and give them something else and get a 30-30 guy and somebody at first base and at this point or a DH. I don't care if they're right-handed, left-handed. You talked about 3 of them. They need more hitting. Last year, they got to the playoffs without Musgrove, without King. 2 years ago, they got to the playoffs with these pitching staffs. It's about hitting in the playoffs, guys. They've got to get some pop. I know we need pitching. Arms get hurt. I understand. But they've been stopped with no hitting. What do you think? We got to get some bats that can knock some runs in. Talk to me. Second base, first base, DH.
Tim, appreciate the phone call. They do need bats, but right now, the starting pitching is very flimsy for the Padres. The thing is, and you start looking at the free agents that are still available, or maybe a trade piece. Jim Bowden had a talk about, I don't know what it was the other day, but mentioned the Padres potentially trading for C.J. Abrams back. Can you imagine that? The Jazz Chisholm, that's where Tim lost me, dude. The Jazz Chisholm thing. Like, I don't want Jazz Chisholm. Jazz Chisholm really raked in the playoffs, didn't he, Frank? Like $182.
Yeah, that torpedo bat really is what put him over the top.
I'm not going to make fun of the Jazz Chisholm thing. It's not who I would want, but Tim is right. They do need a little bit more, couple of bats. They could use a little bit more hitting. They really need one. Really need like one bat. But the lineup, I think the lineup is, you spent the money in the lineup already. Yeah. They got to be able to get some good outings of the starting pitching. And then they could use probably one more bat in the lineup. And it's not Luis Ariz. They need somebody with some pop. They need somebody with some pop. They got pure hitter in Manny, pure hitter in Fernando, pure hitter in Xander, Jackson Merrill. These are the guys that are players that you have spent the money on. They have to play a little bit better. But you could use, I think there's a lot of question marks with the starting pitching, and that's where they're at.
Like, Freddie Fermin's going to be fine. Jake Cronenworth is going to be serviceable. Gavin Sheets is going to be all right. Manny, Xander, Jackson, Fernando, they're going to be good. Ramon Laureano, you're hoping to get what you got from him last year. So the lineup is fair. You have two starting pitchers that you are confident in right now to be able to get the job done, and that's Michael King and Nick Pivetta. That's it. Musgrove is a question mark until you see him out there for the first time after Tommy John surgery. You called Randy Vasquez a traffic cop all season last year. And then your fifth guy is a question mark. You don't know what you have. You know more or less what you have out of the lineup. And yes, lineup absolutely was a big problem at the end of last year and in the postseason the last 2 years. It was a huge problem. But your starting rotation right now is a complete question mark aside from two guys, Nick Pivetta and Michael King. That's it. Those are the only guys you can trust.
The thing that's interesting to me that comes about with another bat, like, how do we think C.J. Abrams would do on this Padres team? Jim Bowden said, if the Nationals can deal Abrams for a package of 3 to 5 good prospects, that's probably their best play to further their rebuild at this point. Giants made a run at Abrams already and remain a potential match. Solid potential trade partners also include the Red Sox, Yankees, Mariners, and Padres. Would you be willing to trade Ethan Salas to get C.J. Abrams back? C.J. Abrams, 25-year-old shortstop, all-star last year, right? Used to be part of the organization. He was one of the top prospects for the Padres. Used him to get Juan Soto. He's going to be up for, the thing is you would have to be able to sign him, right?
Yeah.
He's got a couple of, what has he got this year and next year left? I think he had the same, either was the same or he had a 1 year deal. Or he's either the same as Gore or he had 1 year left.
The Soto trade came in Abrams' rookie year. So that was 22. I think he's got a couple years left, I think.
He's either the same as, I think he's one more than what Gore had. It's an interesting conversation. Maybe Salas becomes, Keibert Ruiz 2.0. CJ Abrams is a free agent in 2029.
Yeah, you'd have your
right in time. You got to sign him an extension. I don't know. Would you give up Ethan Salas for him? Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. We're the Braden Surprenant Show. Quinn and Chris coming up next. San Diego Summer Sports Station 97 through the Fan.
And the